Hey guys, we are back with another Botch Rolls character intros. I'm gonna let each of these guys introduce their characters a little bit, and then we're gonna jump into the question answer section. I'm gonna start right here with Anthony playing Kosto.
Yo, how's it going, guys? So we did a little intro to start, but my name's Anthony. From the Pittsburgh area, same as our illustrious DM here. And yeah, so much to fit the same theme as the last character backstory session that we had. I don't normally play the upfront line bruiser guy, so I really wanted to build a paladin that had all that capability, but like also something to fight for. So I went Vengeance Paladin. I worked really close with Josh on like working on my backstory, which I'm sure we're gonna get to talk about a lot of during here. But yeah, so I mean, in campaign, we don't know a lot about him yet, and even the characters that he's with doesn't know a lot about him. But that's mostly because he doesn't. He's getting to where he thinks he can trust the other people in the party to kind of know some of his bullshit. But he's he's not 100% sure yet. So a lot of his deeper, darker, more recent secrets. But he went from being very naive to very jaded very quickly. It is kind of the short arc of the path that Kosto has taken so far.
Awesome.
And we'll dive into that a little bit more.
Yes, we will. I'm gonna pass it off next to Kevin playing Cypher right below me.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'm ready. Hi, my name is Kevin, and I am from Philadelphia, which is not too far from, I believe it was Pittsburgh that was mentioned.
About 4
and
hours.
I am playing...
Give or take.
Mm-hmm. And I am playing the Human Ancestral Guardian Barbarian. Now, as a little intro for Cypher, he appears to be a very quiet, brooding person that seems to lack interest in a lot of things, often glancing away from people or focusing on something distant. From his polished pieces of equipment, his shoulder plate, his pieces of steel boots past his knees, his swordsmanship, and overall demeanor, it's hinted that he's had some form of formal training as a knight. However, from his darkened garments and obviously missing chest plate and an often tired expression, most people can probably tell that that's been left in the past. He's a little out of place in this party filled with strong, lively personalities, but I'm hoping that that's a good thing. Normally in D&D, I play a mix of different roles, but something that I personally really like enjoying is playing more of a supportive role, where in both what I build and in terms of personality, it's made to help everyone else shine a little brighter. So I'm hoping that develops more as we go along.
I will definitely make a note to give you a chance to shine at that. Last but not least, we are going to allow Braylin playing Aleandra down in the corner.
Okay, like he said, my name is Braylin. I am from Alberta, Canada. I am the only Canadian a part of the game, and I apologize in advance. My dog is in a very bad mood, so if you hear her barking, that's why. So Aliandra is not quite the typical character I play. I usually like playing casters, and as much as I love playing casters, I can't give that up. So I typically in the past play really chaotic characters, very, very chaotic characters that don't really care who their actions affect. And oh my God, she is so loud. I'm so sorry. Typically they like to kind of just do a lot of damage and they don't care what happens from it. But Aleandra is different in that sense this time. She is the calm, cool, and collected mom friend, and she has a very positive backstory to a certain degree. And she is just kind of here to make everybody feel loved and appreciated, and I am very much so excited for that to play out.
Awesome. We're gonna jump pretty early into the question answer, because that's, I think, why everyone's here. We're gonna start with 2 questions from chat.
Okay.
From our very own Jake one. What drives your character that you can share?
Who wants to go first?
Might as well go in order that we started with.
Go ahead, Kosto.
So again, I trust my fellow players, especially those asking questions, because I still want genuine reactions, but you know, I'll give a little bit more here than I would in like the normal campaign. But I had those that are part of that backstory, the Justicars who we haven't met yet. I was very much a part of that group, and that's the symbol that's on my shield, and why I'm so hasty to get a new one. Which Josh very graciously provided the opportunity for in the last session. But I had a big falling out with them because of some things that came to light that I was previously naive to. So that's kind of like the root of the whole vengeance paladin aspect, and that's where and why I took my oath of vengeance, and where I'm coming at them basically. So my goal is to subvert their efforts in basically any way, shape, or form I can throughout my time in the world. So there's a lot of other stuff to it, but that's the gist of the motivation, is basically any chance I get to screw over the Justicars, I'm going to.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh geez, where do I start? In terms of motivation, I'm gonna like restrain myself so I don't give out too many spoilers, but Cypher having this experience as a knight, he had put himself in that position for a particular reason, and it's that he cares very much for his loved ones, and in general the people around them, especially those that can't seem to help themselves. I would say that is probably his biggest motivation, even though he seems to have left that in the past. Whatever has caused him to do that, that has not changed for him.
All right, Aleandra.
So Aleandra is very naive. If you watched the last session, that's pretty clear. At least I think it was. So she's pretty naive, and she is really driven by the fact that she thinks everyone is perfect in their own way. She loves everybody, and she just wants everybody to be taken care of. And that's why I'm really excited to play her more, because her drive is just absolute pure innocence, almost to the point of ignorance. And I am so excited for that to come out as we go.
Awesome. Now, another one from Jake. What is your character afraid of? Costa, we'll let you kick it off.
I mean, at this point, he's actually pretty okay if he just dies, to be quite honest. Like, he's not in a good spot in his life. Like, he's not doing okay. And he masks it with, like, sarcastic humor, because, like, he's still a good-hearted person. But, like, monsters, not really afraid. Like, he's pretty much lost everything that he ever cared about already. So, there's not a whole lot that's gonna scare him at this point. Like he's not fearless as much as he is. What is the word I'm looking for? Like, indifferent. Like he other than his particular goal, like his only fear would be dying before seeing his oath complete, and that's literally in his oath, is like, until my last breath or theirs. So I mean, he's fear, not so much. Indifference to everything other than his, like, overarching objectives. Nah, not really.
Kevin.
Oh geez, as for probably his biggest fear, I can't say too much without spilling the beans, but something that I can give out is that Cypher doesn't talk much for a particular reason. I'll just leave it at that.
Do the sounds of his voice scare him?
We'll find out.
So Aleandra It hasn't come out to the players yet. However, all the players know about her because of the fact of what she is. So she is a wild magic sorcerer. That's why in last session it was mentioned about wild magic rolls. That's not really spoiling anything. She's an open book. That's who she is. And her biggest fear is that she is going to lose loved ones because she loses control.
That's a pretty big fear. Pretty rational fear too, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for someone that randomly explodes with magic every once in a while, killing loved ones is not like top of the list of things you want to do.
Well,
Fireball.
I don't even know. I guess it's not really only killing loved ones. It would be like if she was in the middle of a village and something were to happen where people that she didn't even know, that would probably destroy her right off the bat.
All those 4 HP commoners, and you just like cast like some random like level 1 spell, fireball centered on self. You are now a nuke.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep. And she, I don't think she would handle it very well if Innocence got hurt in it. It would be a pretty interesting character climax for her.
It would also, I mean, from a character standpoint, it'd be kind of fun to watch her go down that chaotic path of like self-destruction, though.
I'm really gonna try and prevent that because I don't want to end up in the characters that I played before.
It's gonna happen at least once.
I know.
100%.
I know. That is such a hard fear to try and not have come to realization. But every character needs trauma eventually, and it's just gonna be really
Don't
hard.
worry
I
about
know you
that.
do. I know you do.
Just hope our druid has greater restoration or resurrection before that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're gonna jump into some questions from Music Maven that was posted in Discord. How did you find D&D? And what attracts you to it?
Oh God. So I mean, for me, it started with so I started playing in high school. And I mean, it just a bunch of us got together and we were like, let's play Dungeons and Dragons. So we started playing Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, nothing serious. Like the campaigns were all they were just mostly like, you know, mess around, open world stuff, and like people would come and go as they had time. But it wasn't until college I actually got into a D&D group, and then what kept me on tabletop games was a very long-running Pathfinder game that I was in. So I played a lot of Pathfinder, and then that same group played for a really long time. One of my D&D claim to fames is actually Franco Harris's son DM'd a game for us. So anybody that's a football fan by any chance that knows who Franco Harris is, his son was a DM for us for a while. We played in Franco's house over in the North Shore of Pittsburgh. But yeah, I mean, I just kept playing. Like I love video games and stuff like that. And like Jake One said in the last session that we did, you know, D&D is a choose your own adventure with a lot more options, and it's hard to stop playing.
Before I started D&D, I used to do just pure role play and kind of improv with a bunch of friends. I'm sure they're present in the chat right now.
Hopefully.
And then one summer in high school, we were completely bored with nothing to do. And a friend from our group, Hunter is his name, he just went, "Hey, you guys want to play D&D?" And we had no idea what was happening. But what really drew me into D&D was that initial start where we had no idea what was going on. It was our first campaign. He had never played before, but he was DMing. And we had wacky things like ASIs every level. Max scores were like 30. We had homebrew subclasses. And just the amount of chaos we were going through just kept me super entertained. And eventually, once we learned the system more, the bridge between how D&D worked and role-playing finally like came together. And that's when I finally stuck with it. And that's where I am right now.
Awesome.
So the way that I came to play D&D was my best friend was playing it with her cousin at the time, and she was telling me all about her sessions and everything. And I was making fun of her for being a super nerd. That's honestly where it started. And she goes, you know what? If you really think it's that nerdy, why don't you come play yourself and find out for yourself? And I was like, you know what? I bet you I'm gonna walk out within the first 5 minutes. And I sat down at the table with her cousin, who I also went to school with. I'm from a small town. And he goes, okay, here is your pre-made character sheet. This is the idea of the one-off. And it was a Christmas one-off. And we essentially killed it was a young green dragon that we killed. And it was the Grinch. We fought the Grinch for Christmas, and I was hooked after that. I joined their campaign. They were at level 10 when I joined, and I had built myself a tiefling warlock who got introduced to the campaign by murdering a farmer and his child for fun, just for fun. Just wanted to do it.
Tiefling warlock stuff.
Tiefling warlock stuff. And from there, I was able to build her into a chaotic good character, not a super jerk anymore from that, even though that's kind of where she started off, where she had a lot of fun with what she did. She ended up becoming half dragon from a ritual with a mithril dragon, and it was a really great time. So now my best friend looks back on it. I told her about this, and she was just like, remember when you called me a super nerd? And I just try not to remember that.
It gets all of us.
It does. What made you want to get involved in a stream game?
So I mean, I already stream anyway. So the fact that it was a campaign that I could get to play on a regular basis and like have people watch and comment on and add to and meet new friends and stuff like that. I mean, it's the dream, man. I mean, I'm gonna be playing D&D anyway. Might as well make it entertaining for other people while I do it, if I can.
Touche. For me, my reasoning for joining a stream game specifically is a bit more personal, but I will go out and say it because this is a safe space. I tend to go through these periods where I just lose motivation to do things and even interest in things that I really used to enjoy. And I know that's probably just something in me acting up and not actually like how my head's supposed to be working. So I figured if I had joined a streamed game, it would force me to, one, interact with other people, and two, do something that I liked, and I would be held accountable for it. So I wouldn't allow myself to spiral into just being in my room 24/7.
That's like a really great self-realization and a really good reason to play in a stream game.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man.
I really like that, honestly.
Thank you.
No, I do the same. I do the same thing with other stuff where like I'll make plans even though I know I don't want to, just to force myself to do it. Yeah, no, I totally feel that. We've
Yeah.
all been there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're better at carrying it out than I am because I'll make plans, decide I don't want to do it, and then just turn my phone off. So, I didn't know that this was going to be a streamed game. I'm just going to be honest about that. I had no idea. I joined the Discord and I got such a warm welcome from everybody. I put in an application. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why am I applying? This is weird. I just really, really strongly wanted to play D&D. I haven't played for 2 years because our DM decided he didn't want to play anymore. And like I said, I'm from a small town. And so I have been really struggling with my mental health lately, massively. I have ADHD, anxiety, and depression as the 3 that I've been diagnosed with. And D&D really gave me an outlet for all 3 of those. Adult ADHD, not a fun thing. It's really not. So D&D really gives you an outlet for that because you get to be creative, but it also teaches you how to manage it because you have to take your turn. That sounds like such a simple thing, but for somebody whose brain fires at 1,000,000 miles a minute, it's really hard for you in real life to say, no, I have to calm down. It's not my turn to speak. And I've struggled with that my whole life. So that's something that really made me want to play D&D. Now, when I found out it was streamed, I remember talking to Josh about it and him telling me and me being like, oh, didn't know. Had no idea. Did not know.
That did happen.
I genuinely had no idea, and Josh was just really cool about it. I have no problem being on stream. I used to stream League. Sometimes I stream Apex, neither of which I'm good at. So I had no problem streaming. I was just really pumped to play, especially with this group of people.
And we're glad to have you. Very glad.
Yes. Now you're here.
Now that I'm here, yes.
This one goes into your character. This doesn't really go into this character creation, but do you have a preferred race, class, gender combo?
I have two that are my all-time favorites. One of which, if Kosto ends up dying, will make an appearance in this campaign. So the first one is my favorite character of all time, and it's because it is my favorite build of all time. It is a half-elf lore bard because they are broken as shit. Only reason, like all the proficiencies, your spell casting. Like if you want to just have a really good fun time playing the face in a game of a bunch of bruisers, play a half-elf lore bard. And then my second favorite character, my combination, and that's usually a male is when I do that one. But I have a female draconic blood sorceress, I guess, that I am dying to play in a real campaign sometime. So already written, already ready to go, just in case. She has a Southern Belle accent. But yeah, so my Bard and Sorcerer are my two favorite classes. Warlock's number 3. Like I said, I'm typically a spellcaster. Paladin is out of my normal realm for me. But Draconic Blood just makes you tanky as a sorcerer and gives you all those immunities. So
I mean,
those are like the best.
I mean, this in the nicest way possible, but I kind of hope that Kosto dies just so I can see what my sorcerer is like with your sorcerer, because they're just gonna. If you have a Southern Belle, she's just gonna be equally as sweet.
Oh well,
So excited about
she
that.
she like talks in us. She has like a Southern accent, like a Southern Belle accent, but like she's really catty and pretty promiscuous. Like
Oh,
she doesn't
right.
like to use. She doesn't like if she doesn't have to use magic to get her way, she doesn't. And she has dragon scales for skin, so she doesn't really need to wear a lot of armor. If you're catching my drift, she's gonna be a good time if Kosto dies. Josh just already like, oh no.
Josh is shaking his head right there.
Kosto
like,
has
God,
plot
no.
armor at this point.
Which is secretly my plan.
All right.
Josh has heard the voice too, so
I
he
have.
knows.
I've also heard this voice.
I kind
have
of want to
also
see
heard
it
this.
now.
I've also-
We'll get around to it.
We'll see. We'll
Oh,
see.
yeah.
There's one shots. There's always one shots.
Yeah.
Cypher, what about you?
Okay, this is gonna sound kind of bad to some people, but I have an explanation for it. It is a human fighter. And that is because I have found that when, I guess particularly for myself, whenever I play classes that have like a lot of fancy stuff going for it, I tend to be more reliant on the fact that I can do these fancy things and focus less on the actual character as a person and those details. So by playing the most simple thing possible and the most mundane thing possible, I'm kind of forced to really focus on like the personality, the backstory, and world interactions to really make them shine as much as the others. There's also a second build that I really like. No race in particular, but just Hexblade Warlock. I don't know what it is. It's probably just the flavor for spellcaster going martial, but it is so cool.
That is a good.
I had a halfling hexblade warlock that I played one time that was just funny as hell.
My favorite class that I've played is my Tiefling Warlock, and that's because session 4 with her, she went from being a Pact of the Fiend, or a Patron of the Fiend, to a Patron of the Celestial, which is where her calm down came from. And so she had healing, which was kind of nice. But on top of that, she also had a crap ton of spells, because she was Pact of the Tome. Tiefling Warlock, Pact of the Tome, with the Celestial, there was nothing that I couldn't do, and it was awesome. My all-time favorite class that I have ever played, however, I only played her like twice. I had a changeling rogue, and it was
That was a
listen,
no-go for
changeling
me.
rogues. Yeah, changeling rogues are so broken. I walked into a jewelry store, robbed the jewelry store, walked outside, and turned into some random dude I saw on the street and was like, "Oh yeah, she went that way." Like, so broken, so very broken,
Yeah,
but
that
so
was a
much
hard no
fun.
for me.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally
Pass
fair.
for this campaign.
It was
Oh
a
my god, but
hard
it was
no.
it was so much fun. Highly recommend if your DM does not know enough about the changing class or does not care about the changing class and you can do it. Trust me, so much fun. So
We
much
here
fun.
at Botched Rolls do not support you subverting your DM.
Hey! No, I respect the fact that he wouldn't let me. I respect the fact heavily that he wouldn't let me BS my way through the campaign.
That was a no-go.
Yeah, I don't blame
That
him
was
for
a
that.
hard pass.
Can you? If we could have had changelings, I think everybody would have been a changeling. So then it wouldn't have been fun
Oh,
anymore.
absolutely not.
It wouldn't have been fun anymore.
Everyone would
No.
have true sight for some reason.
Yeah, and it would have been so funny. I actually don't think
Weird. Everyone in this world has true sight. So weird.
There's a changing rogue in the chat right now, but I won't say who.
It's so fun. It was so fun. Another really fun class that was broken was I played a Warforged Barbarian, but the way that we played it was my best friend was also playing with us, and so we were twins named Hammer and Crunch, who were actually attached twins. We were literally just playing a BS campaign. So we were, what's the word for twins that are attached?
Conjoined.
Conjoined twins at the shoulders. So we only could walk if we rolled dex checks and everything. It was so funny. It was so fun. It was Hammer and Crunch. It was a lot of fun.
It sounds like it.
That's amazing.
All right,
It was really funny.
these questions come from our very own Kias, from Mickey playing Kias. What was the inspiration for this character?
It's a good question.
I know, I'm sitting here like, oh no, it was the inspiration.
Like it kind of just like developed like the whole backstory and everything and like his mentality and like what he does kind of like developed over time. I knew I wanted to play a paladin because I wanted to be a frontline guy that still had a little bit of casting. But as far as like the inspiration for this character, like think if you had like some weird tie-dye of Anakin Skywalker and Liam Neeson from Taken, like kind of mixed together, like good, but like I'm gonna do good, but by any means, because what I was always taught was good turns out isn't so good. Like it's kind of like that as far as like inspiration goes, like that's kind of what I drew from, were like those like hero types that have like that realization that not everything is rainbows and sunshines, and I'm gonna go do something about it. So like it's a vengeance paladin. It's Batman. I'm playing Batman. It's a vengeance paladin. My name is Enigma Toya. Prepare to die.
Cypher, what was your inspiration for this character?
This one's a little bit of a story. Specifically for the concept, in the very first game that I ran, one of the players played a character named Leiko Yotoma, and we played a homebrew class for the monk, where you were more of like a fighter / rogue, and you would be able to use long swords to make people bleed. And there was just a running joke at some point that the Yotomas were everywhere, because we kept running into his family members, his cousins, etc. And one day I was just like, let's keep the joke rolling, and I'll make a Yotoma character at some point. That's Cypher's last name. And I will just start spreading Yotomas throughout different campaigns and see where that goes.
I love
Okay.
that.
Multi-universe. Love it.
I love it.
Braylon, what was your inspiration for Aleandra?
I wanted to play a wild magic sorcerer. That's essentially that was the inspiration. Okay,
That's the beautiful thing about D&D, though. That's all the reason you need.
And rewrote her backstory at least 3 times, 4 times. See, Josh knows because every time I did it, it was because he was like, well, why did she do this? Why did this happen? And I, like, the writer's block that I had with this character, I was like, I want to play a wild magic sorcerer because I haven't played it. And I think I want her to be an elf because I've never played an elf. And the writer's block I had trying to combine those two was impeccable. It was impressive how stupid I felt at the moment. It was so impressive. That
was my process with Braylon. She'd be like, this happened, and I'd be like, why? And she'd be like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Figure that out.
Yeah, literally. It was so sad because I've written so many backstories before that were just on point. But then for Aleandra, I'm sitting there and I'm like, nothing. Just absolute blank sticky note kind of thing. So but like I said, the major inspiration to why she is the personality she is because I didn't want to be chaotic good. I wanted to be absolute pure innocence to the point of ignorance.
Well, that's a good one. We touched on this a little bit with Braylon, but what was your thought process in building your character?
Batman. I'm Batman. I thought we no, I wanted to do someone like, so honestly, most of the characters I play like have like real loose it's like real loose reasons for wanting to like go out and adventure and like be great and like fight evil. Like I wanted to have, if I was gonna play a paladin, I wanted him to have like a really clear, tangible objective, a very clear, like, this is what's wrong and this is how I'm gonna fix it. Like whether that takes a year or the rest of my life, I wanted to have like an established, like I wanted a character that didn't just bounce aimlessly. I think 95% of my characters are like chaotic neutral or true neutral. Like I like people that just go with the flow of other people that have really strong feelings about things. In this particular campaign, I wanted to be somebody that had really strong feelings about things. So that's kind of like the path I took to develop him, is like I wanted something that was like so like gut-wrenchingly like bad for him that like even in a campaign setting I could tell that story to a group of adventurers and they'd be like, yeah, my stuff can wait, like let's go handle that shit. So that was kind of the gist for how I developed the character.
Okay. Cypher.
So I wasn't really sure how to take this question, so I'll have 2 parts to my answers.
Okay.
For personality, usually when I make characters, I try to focus on, I guess, like one thing that I can take from reality and really put into the character. And without spoilers from Cypher, what I ended up choosing for him was don't judge a book by its cover. So that is what I'm going with. Cypher is going to be, as the campaign goes along, hopefully it'll come out that there's a few things about him that aren't what they seem. So that's for the personality. Mechanically, like I said before, I really like helping the others kind of shine more. So I had glanced over everyone's, like, builds and character sheets, what they were playing. I tried to envision where we would be in a combat situation. And I found that we would probably need like a straight on meat shield or a tank, but also something that would help with some healing or damage reduction. So I ended on Ancestral Guardian Barbarian, best of both worlds.
They make great meat shields.
They do.
I have to commend you on being so supportive to all of us. Honestly, hey, what do we need?
Coming from HP spellcaster.
We need this. Hey, we need this, so I'm gonna play this, and just all of us, just like, okay.
I just have fun doing that.
Yeah. Also, side note to add to mine, I actually never technically named Aliandra the mom friend. I described it to Josh, and Josh said, "Oh, so she's the mom friend." So
that is true.
This is true.
So this would be for Kosto and more for Aleandra. What were the thoughts on your spell selection?
How many slots do I have for smite?
Pretty fair. That's pretty fair.
Vengeance Paladin, you don't expect a whole lot of.
Yeah, so I mean, so the Vengeance Paladin list is really, really good. So the one, honestly, the ones that I get from that list that are just selected for me, end up being really good. The two things that I focused on were Hunter's Mark for not just extra damage, but also like thematically, like I said, like that's the one I've used the most so far, other than Smite. Just you get extra damage, but also you learn stuff about your target and things like that. But the rest of my spell list is smites, Thunderous Smite, Wrathful Smite, any smite I can get my hands on. The problem is those are concentration spells, so I can't use those at the same time that I'm using a couple other, different things, and they're until I get a higher level, they're just a waste of a spell slot. And then I took Bless because for the same reason, like I want to be able to help people around, and you pair Bless with Leonard's Bardic Inspiration, there's not really a skill check that somebody's going to fail at. So, I mean, you add a D4 and a D6 to your roll. There's not a whole lot you're not going to be able to do unless you really botch your roll. # botch rolls. But yeah, no, that was like a little bit of support. I have Lay on Hand, so I didn't take any of the healing spells. Didn't need to. But yeah, pretty much everything is like, how can I best quickly kill this one thing in front of me?
That's a good way to run a Vengeance Paladin.
It's all built for it.
Aleandra.
Leonard, before I forget, because I just had a great idea. The first time you go to give anybody Bardic Inspiration, I hope you hand them a chicken nugget. Got you. Anyways, so I really based Aleandra's spell selection off of like what she would do as a character. So because she is very much so, I'm going to protect and ask too many questions before I choose to fight. Like not trying to spoil too much, but like before they have to go into combat, what can she do to try and avoid it? That's what I heavily based her spells off of, is the helpful side to her, but she's a sorcerer. She will need to do damage eventually, so I made sure that she was also stacked up in the sense that if it came down to it, she's going to be able to protect her friends.
Awesome.
So she's got the preventative, but she's also got the ability to end.
Kevin,
I don't want to fight, but I will end it kind of attitude.
Kevin, is one of your secrets that you actually have spell slots?
No.
Don't spoil it.
Mans is gonna cast Fireball.
I actually took a one level dip into Wizard.
That would be so beyond wicked.
That would be rough.
That would be hilarious.
Oh my god, an Ancestral Barbarian with shield and fucking magic missile.
Well, I got something for them.
Oh no.
Any fun, this would be for the two spellcasters again, any fun flavor we can expect to see from your spells? Aleandra had touched on this a little bit on the last one.
Also did too, I think, because I'm pretty sure you had asked him what that looked like at one point. Or no, I guess that we're talking about. No, that was Leonard. Never mind.
Yeah, so I'm Fallen Asmer. So that celestial light that I once had is not so much there no more. Think furnace with the pilot light out, so it's just dark and cold. So that's so like his smites aren't like these beaming radiant lights. They're like these like shadowy dark like impacts. Like it's still radiant energy, but it just looks out of place. And I mean I kind of you saw it last session. We ended up not really, talking on it. Nobody really made mention too much, but I have my Fallen Asmer form that gives me necrotic damage too. It's like the flavor on that, in addition with like the radiant smite energy and stuff like that. Like that's where a lot of the flavor is going to come in for like the smites and things like those. Because again, as Leonard said, smite happy. It's what paladins do.
It is. It's exactly what paddlies do.
Aleandra's spells are all gonna be disgusting Valentine's Day jokes, I think. There's gonna be a lot of hearts. There's gonna be, can that look like candy when I do it? Like just everything that's sickening sweet in any way, shape, or form. That's gonna be what it, like anything that you would expect to look at and be like, oh, that was adorable, but that really, really hurt. Ow. That's essentially how it's gonna go.
Okay.
That was hilarious when you were like, so I'm gonna do this, but like it's a heart-shaped
Yeah.
burn. It's a heart-shaped
Yes.
burn in the skin of this giant basilisk-looking thing.
Yeah. Looks really adorable.
All right. Also from Kies, share a piece of information about your character's backstory that the party will learn over the course of the campaign.
That seems like it defeats the purpose of learning it over the course
Yeah,
of
I
the
was gonna
campaign.
say-
Nothing super major, just something small.
I really don't like bandits or nobles for that matter, which is one of the reasons why I was so immediately wary of Ariel. it's Ariel. I get it.
Ariel.
Whatever. He'll always be Ariel to me. But I don't like him. I'm cool with him. He didn't give off any vibes that he was someone that I didn't like. But like again, as part of my backstory, like some things that I've learned about the world in which we are currently operating, like I have beef with nobles because they're greedy, stingy bastards that all deserve to burn. Except for a couple of them, but we'll figure out which. It's trial by fire for all of them.
Hot diggity daffodils. That's gonna be
Love
rough.
that. Love it.
Yeah, I'm not actively trying to murder all of them, but like I'm not opposed to it.
All right,
Okay.
so no audiences with the king. Got it.
Well, again, it depends. Like there's a short list of ones where I know like these are bad, and then like there are probably some good ones, and I'm sure I'll run into some good ones. I'm not like blanket like all nobles
Blanket
bad.
smiting.
I'm not blanket smiting. I'm not blanket smiting any noble I come across. But like I have reason to believe that a lot of them I don't like.
You've heard of a weighted blanket, but have you heard of the paladin blanket?
Oh no.
Just blanket smite. If you could just line them up.
Just one big sword, just one big smite lays down across them all.
Yeah, and something that you will learn over the course, Kies, is why I don't like nobles and don't trust them unless it's you know how like the trust until you give me a reason not to. It's the opposite for me. I don't trust anybody in that manner of authority, and I will trust you if you give me a reason to trust you.
That's a good one. Cypher, what is a small piece of information from your backstory that the party will learn over the course of the campaign?
This is a tough one. Without anything too major, I guess one thing that I will say is that Cypher is trying to travel everywhere but home.
Ooh,
Fair.
Ooh.
I like that.
mysterious.
Take Cypher home. Gotcha.
Oh shit.
Must kill Cypher's home noble.
Aleandra, what is a piece of information that from your backstory?
She has hard daddy issues, and that's all you get.
Real hard daddy issue.
Big old bag of daddy issues minus the stripper.
That's
So far.
that's something, all right.
Well, wait till Kosto dies, and if I get to play that female sorceress, we'll talk about the stripping part.
There's the stripper.
So this is from.
Just like
This is
watching
also
Josh's
from
face.
TS. Actually, we're gonna do with Jake's first. Which party member? This is for everyone. Which party member would you least like to throw down with?
Oh wait, where is he?
Nope. That's the chat. You looking
That
pointing
way.
at Cypher?
I'm
that
trying to
way.
point at Cypher. It's
way.
Cypher. No, I would
least want to throw down with.
None of you guys said me. I'm sad.
Because the DM an answer.
Okay, listen, actually, on that note, already thrown down with the DM? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't put your hands in things.
My choice is Cypher. Aliandra's choice would probably be that she doesn't think she'd ever have to throw hands with anybody in the entire world. But Braylon's choice is Cypher.
Cypher, what about you?
Thank you. Oh my. Okay, so person I would least want to throw down with me in particular, probably Jaeger, because
Yeah.
I do martial arts, but I have a wrist injury because I got into an accident where my palm touched my wrist, so anytime I try to hit anything, it hurts. So
Who would your character least like to throw down with?
Yeah, I also don't want to fight Jaeger and like the character that plays Jaeger.
Is not taking that as the person that wants to fight. I did not think anybody wanted to fight Tim. So thank you for the specifics of why not to.
Cypher would be stuck between two people, and that would either be Aleandra or Talon, because everyone else seems like they have been through enough where they could probably like take a beating and be okay with it emotionally, but Talon and Aliandra just seem like too pure to beat up.
That's a good one.
I like how you took an emotional standpoint to that instead of like which one is gonna murk me.
Okay, now this one is the first of two from Kies. Which other party member would your character think would be the easiest to fight?
Do I have my shield yet?
Sure.
If I have my shield, I'd wipe the floor with Kias.
Okay.
There's nothing he can touch. If I have the spell shield, like I'd just be reflecting his Eldritch Blasts while I'm just raining down mace smites on his head.
Okay.
I don't want to PvP. I'm just like that's my thought. Again, least want to fight Jaeger or possibly Tullen because brown bears are a bitch. But
Infinite health brown bears.
Infinite health brown bears, basically. It's like I have to wipe out like 200 HP before I can even hit Tullen.
All right, Cypher. Who do you think in the party? Who does Cypher think would be the easiest to take?
The easiest to take? It's right now. It's a tie between I'd say Aliandra or Kies. Kies in particular came up because of the I'm hurt.
Just put some mud on him.
You brought this on yourself, Kies. That's what he said.
So in Cypher's head, he's just like, oh, he must be really fragile then. I'll keep an eye out for him.
This guy's Italian.
I mean this with all the love in the world. I'm pretty sure Aleandra was not awake for when Keys almost died. So I'm gonna go with Leonard. And my reasoning behind that is because Aleandra probably wouldn't think she'd actually have to hurt Leonard to really hurt him. She could literally just be like, doesn't taste like my mom's cooking, and walk away, and that might just ruin him completely.
Emotional warfare.
That might just absolutely decimate him to not want to fight anymore.
It just does.
So
you don't have vicious mockery, but it gives you the vicious mockery smell.
I'm pretty confident that she wouldn't actually have to throw down at that point, and that would be how she gets out of it.
In keeping with the
solid.
spirit of which character, which party? This is from Tullen. Which party member do you think your character will clash with the most? So from the character's viewpoint, not you as a player, from your character's viewpoint, what other character do you think you're going to clash with the most?
Oh man, buddy, I'm sorry because I really like you, but I think it's still Kias. Because because again, we just talked about how I want to blanket smite all the nobles, and he's gonna be there like, oh, you're just so nice. Look how well dressed you are, and I'm gonna be trying to murder him, and it's just gonna cause conflict.
Okay, Cypher.
Oh, that's so. I have the campaign open right now, just glancing at everyone. Honestly,
I'm having a struggle with this.
The characters clashing.
Personality-wise.
It might be Kosto. It might be.
Really?
Kosto, I'm going to say this.
I definitely see that.
Kies agrees with your answer.
No, he and I are gonna hate each other the whole time. But lovingly.
Yes. Aleandra, who do you think you're going to clash with most?
I'm struggling because it's between Keys because he's not going to want Aleandra to give him a hug and wreck his jacket, or it's going to be Tullen because she's going to be like, stop getting thrown. You're going to get hurt and then you're dumb. Like, stop. And Tullen's going to be like, throw me again, big guy. Do it again. I'm a football. So, like, is it going to be the side of she wants to be too loving and caring, or is it going to be the side of she's trying to act like Tullen's her child? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, they're both there.
Okay.
I'm interested because I'm curious why Cypher doesn't necessarily. I see it, but I'm curious why you think Cypher's not going to.
We'll get to that one later.
Reasons why Braylon said she's scared of Cypher.
Actually, you know what? Why do you think that, Cypher? Why do you
I'm
think
genuinely
you're not gonna
curious.
get along with Kosto?
All right, why do I think that just hearing from this little stream right now what like Kosto's general personality is, Cypher is a little more reserved and will generally clash with anyone that has like a very strong personality, but in particular with his habit of wanting to essentially like protect other people and really reduce the amount of violence that there is. Having someone that is very strong in terms of how aggressive they are might end up clashing with them.
Very pro-violence is Kosto, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good answer.
It's targeted violence, but I am pro-violence. I can definitely see this being a problem. I like it though.
This one is from Kias, and this is for Kosto and Kevin. This is for Kosto and Cypher. As two dudes who like to hit things with melee weapons, how would your characters feel about purchasing a weapon from Botch brand luxury arms and armaments for the fashion-forward adventurer?
Is it sharp?
Is it magical?
Is it free?
No.
Is it free?
Purchase.
Oh,
Is it sharp?
Could be.
Kosto, again, it depends on where the proceeds go. Are you using any sort of like, indentured servants to produce your goods? Are these coming from like a foreign land that's like less economically stable than Tamriel? Like, I need to know the ethics behind what I'm buying before I really make that purchase.
I'll bet you Keys gives you a coupon that's expired.
I
That's
bet you
fine.
he does.
He has a fake bottle of wine, so it's fine.
This one is from Lewis. I'm guessing Lewis Kraz.
Luis?
Luis. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, Luis.
What would your character bring to a Thanksgiving dinner?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Or potluck?
I need to ruminate on this for a hot second.
Okay, I can just go. Aleandra would be cooking all of the food and just tell everybody not to worry about it. Straight up. Don't bring anything. Just bring yourselves and a nice outfit so we can take a picture.
I'm moving that from mom friend to grandma friend.
Easy.
I mean,
claps.
she is 98, so that's fair.
So she's like 12. No years.
I thought we determined that was 21.
Give or take.
Yeah.
A sack of potatoes.
Uncooked potatoes, I'm guessing.
Uncooked raw potatoes. I've brought these for you.
They would make a fine weapon if somebody chooses to steal the pie.
Well, first of all, who else is going to carry the sack of potatoes? They're heavy. Second of all, everyone needs potatoes. And nothing in his background would like lend himself. You know what? Hold on. He would bring a sack of potatoes, but he would also bring beer. Because little known fact about Kosto is
Ale.
Little known fact about Kosto is that due to his background and traveling at a young age and just interest in things in general, he is proficient with a brewer's kit. So he would bring ale and a sack of potatoes. He doesn't have a drinking problem. You have a drinking problem.
I mean, sure.
Doesn't sound like my drinking's the problem. Sounds like the problem is you having a problem with it.
True.
Cypher usually does things out of efficiency, so when it comes to eating, it'd probably be like whatever fills you up the most. I'm imagining like the party having their own like dinner, and not really knowing what to bring, he'd probably bring a second turkey and just silently place it onto the table.
I was half
Uncooked.
expecting you to say all of the dinner rolls. Because, like, efficiency to fill yourself up, just like a bunch of dinner rolls.
Red.
So much bread. These are from Music Maven. I got some here from Music Maven. This is
Sick.
for everyone. This is for you, not your character. Who has tattoos? How many? When did you get your first one? Why? And do you have any specific artists you go to, and why?
Yeah, Aleandra. Yeah, go ahead, because I don't have any tattoos, so you go first.
Josh, do you want to go first?
I've already done mine.
Oh, right, you did it last session. Kevin, do you have any tattoos?
I do not.
Oh, great. Okay. So I have 9 sessions worth of tattoos on my body, from multiple different tattoo artists. My main one is now the one that has done all of this arm. So this is my tiefling warlock that I was describing. I also have a mithril dragon holding a d20, and I have a witch burning at the stake behind it. I calculated it out. I have close to like $4,500 worth of tattoos on my body, which is gross. That's Canadian though, so it's like 3,500 American.
Yeah, everything's worth less in Canada.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah, including the people. Don't feel bad about it. So yeah, when I first got my first tattoo, I was 16, and I actually got 2 in the same day. That's the one on my thigh, and then I also have one on the back of my shoulder. And then I also have stretched ears and a bunch of freaking piercings. So
Okay.
I think, was there anything else to that question that I missed?
Nope.
Okay.
I have, if she is interested, I do have 2 tattoos planned out that I haven't gotten yet. One is a Calvin and Hobbes tattoo, with Calvin and Hobbes and Calvin's dad. So like I grew up listening to, or like my dad would read us Calvin and Hobbes books and stuff. Like that was like a big part of like growing up. So like that's one that I want to get for sure. And there's actually an artist in like upstate New York that does really, really good Calvin and Hobbes work, because it's like technically you're not even allowed to get it because none of it's like it's all like trademark withdrawn or whatever it's called, but like he still does them. There's that one. And then there's I haven't decided exactly on the design, but something like I'm really proud of, like being from the Pittsburgh area. So like there's a couple of designs I have in mind for like Pittsburgh based tattoos that kind of like speak to like the city and their sports teams and stuff like that, like a skyline with the sports symbols and stuff like that. I haven't designed it all the way out, but those are the 2 that are on the docket. I just haven't actually gone to do it yet.
Well, we have from Jake, Jake 1, in the chat. If we break 1,000 subs, he will consider a Botch Rules tattoo.
Oh, bet I'm right with you on that.
I mean,
I
I'll
have
probably do
the
it
rest
way
of my
before
tattoos-
1,000 subs.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
the
like
rest of my tattoos. Oh,
Go ahead.
the rest of my tattoos I have planned out, but I'll totally put the symbol on the back of my hand and be completely fine with it.
Yeah, I mean that'll be way
I'll
before
get one.
that.
I'll get for 1,000 subs. I'll get a Botch Rolls tattoo on stream.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh shit, yeah, I'm
I
down
mean,
for
yeah,
that.
I will have them come to the house and give me a tattoo
Yeah.
right here.
I was good. Why don't we'll just all go? We'll just all meet up at the same tattoo parlor somewhere in the middle of the country, and just like take the camera with us.
Isn't that one our what is it? Isn't that our hot tub party anyway? 1,000 subs?
True.
1,000. Oh, let's
We
just
break
get
it-
tattoos in the hot tub.
Yeah, we break a
All the
1,000 subs,
infection.
and I
Boom.
will get the infection of a lifetime and get a tattoo in the hot tub
while we're having an in-person session.
while we're
Yeah.
having an in-person session.
Oh
A
yeah.
hot tub in-person session while a bunch of tattoo artists are tattooing us, and then the session after that will be Botched Rolls. The gang dies of gangrene.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, bet. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll just get it on my neck so I don't have to worry about the water.
Oh no,
getting-
it's got.
Botch rolls tramp stamp.
It's gotta go on with the rest of my Dungeons and Dragons tattoos, which is on the back of this hand.
Right, like
And then
right
that
here.
way, if I ever pimp slap somebody, they're gonna know why.
Next sub goal, gangrene. That comes from Tullen. Do your characters have any tattoos? Why or why not? And what inspires these markings?
That's a funny story.
Interesting.
Cypher, we'll start with you.
Okay. I guess how much should I really spell here?
I mean, you can tell them all about your tattoos.
Oh, okay. Let me just find where I wrote that.
Interesting.
Okay, so for Cypher's more like barbarian aspects, I went with a Chinese inspiration because that is technically my ancestry, so I figured it'd be cool to bring that out. And I have the 5 elements representing for his tattoos: fire, wood, water, metal, and earth. And they kind of sprawl across his upper body. And they're supposed to represent kind of his ancestral spirits, that they are in respect to them, and they each tell like different tales of what they've done in different aspects. As for something else that I won't go too deep into, I suppose those that might be a little more perceptive might have noticed a one on his neck, one of a black skull.
What about you, Aleandra?
So funny story. I remember thinking this the other day, and I wrote her with tattoos, and then you know who I forgot to tell that she had tattoos?
Probably that would be me.
That'd probably be
well,
you, yeah.
It actually isn't Josh. I didn't think that I would have. I didn't know I would have to. I did write her with tattoos, but I also forgot to tell the person drawing her. So.
Ah.
Sounds like she doesn't have any tattoos now.
It's to be determined if she has tattoos at this point.
So where are the hidden tattoos covered by clothing?
So the original thing that I wrote down was from her wrist up to her shoulder.
Okay.
And it was just like it was like chunky tribal swirls. Like it was really simplistic.
Okay.
But that was really it.
I don't think Kosto has any. He was kind of like raised as like a do as I say, not as I do religious zealot kind of deal. So like it just doesn't really, it's just not something that I never really considered him having any, and I think I'm gonna stick with it. I don't just, he might get some now to be more edgy because that's kind of the path he's chosen. But
right.
I mean, Bruce Wayne didn't have tattoos, so
Batman did.
Fair enough.
yeah, no, Kosto doesn't.
Here's some good ones. Same question with piercings.
Oh, does anybody have piercings?
Listen, Kosto's nipples are pierced.
That's good.
No, I'm just kidding. They're not. No.
Aleandra wears a necklace.
Okay. Well, I will get to that one. What character do you think is going to cause the most trouble for the party from your character perspective?
Ooh. Potentially the 10-day-old Warforge.
Ooh, good one.
Like just like from like a lack of like not really being able to and it's great and he plays it wonderfully, but the fact that his character doesn't necessarily pick up on like the social cues, or like there's just like things that he doesn't know, like stuff like that, like I can definitely see where even in the short term that can put us in situations that we don't necessarily want to be in. So I think maybe at least early on, until he starts to discover more about his past, I think that he could probably be the most problematic for the party as a whole.
Good answer. Cypher?
I think that now, since we've gotten past session 2, the answer has changed. Originally, it would have been Tullen.
Oh
but-
God.
I think now that goes to Aliandra, and that's because Cypher's got the belief that if you are like someone who is innocent and overly curious, and if you combine that with the fact that you don't seem to be able to like defend yourself physically, if you get in with the wrong crowd of people, that could end very poorly for you. So when he looks to the other people in the party that have stronger personalities, people that he might clash with, and even like Jaeger, who is like 10 days old, he's still like this giant hunk of metal that can grow like twice his size, so he can take care of himself.
I mean, it's fair. I put my hand in a bag and almost died, so...
I mean, if we're talking about who's been the most trouble so far, 10 minutes into meeting us and we're trying to stab her arm.
Character perspective, Aleandra would pick Tullen because he appears at this point to have no absolute care to what happens to him himself. And to her, that is massive trouble. But on the other side of it, she would also be very afraid of what could happen if she does lose control of herself. So she would also think that she's going to become a problem as well.
That's good. That's a good way to look at that. Self-inflicted, most troublesome character.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean, I'm definitely like my number 2 answer after Jaeger.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
I'm trouble walking depending on where we end up going from here.
Like, it's one of those things where, like, if, like, Keys walked up and said, hey, yo, get a load of this group, who do you think out of this group? Like, if it was a character asking Aleandra that, she would say Tullen, because he doesn't care about himself, and I just want him to survive, not get thrown out of a window every day. Like, that would be her answer, but internally, she would be like, it's me, because I don't know what's gonna happen if I cast Fireball on myself.
That's fair. Very good. That's a very good way to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this one, I'm not sure who that's from, but is that a sword in your background, Kevin? Someone asked that.
Oh my god, it is. Thank you for noticing. This is actually a prop that I recently got. This is a synthetic sparring sword. I got it because well, this is what Cypher sword would look like, at least one of them. If this isn't the one that you were mentioning, I actually had the other two prepared in the background somewhere. This is the one that I got directly before that. It's pretty much just a giant wooden stick. And this one would be my very first one that I got at a Renaissance fair back in 6th grade.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's adorable.
But yes, it is a sword.
That is awesome. Here's the next one. Does Aliandra fart hearts?
I thought we weren't allowed to give out spoilers.
Ooh, good answer. And here's
Okay,
another. Go ahead.
If you want the really funny answer that I once heard from, I think it was my dad who said this. He said, no women fart because they don't keep their mouth closed long enough to build up the pressure.
Ooh.
So I like, you can take whichever answer is funnier to you.
If your character went to Hogwarts, what house would they be sorted into?
That's so easy.
Oh God.
That's so easy to guess.
I have
for.
ideas on all of you, but I'll let you guys answer first.
As much as I want to be a Slytherin, Aleandra's a fucking Hufflepuff. That's so easy.
I'm not gonna argue that at all.
That's about right.
Easy.
What about you, Kosto?
I'm between 2. I think so. Like, really, so when it comes to like Gryffindor and Slytherin, it really comes to like they're both like super ambitious, but it really comes to like how they deal with that ambition. And I feel like he's probably going to be more like kick the door down, like damn the torpedoes version that would be more like Gryffindor. But that said, though, he might learn that he needs to be more subtle in his actions, in which case it would tend more towards Slytherin. The hat would have a hard time.
I would put you in Gryffindor.
Yeah, I think it's probably Gryffindor, but it could.
I think you would have started
changes.
I think you would have started in Slytherin and moved to Gryffindor.
It's about right, I think.
Would that make Kosto Draco Malfoy?
No. Kosto's more
No.
like
Little Cedric Diggory like.
yeah, with
That's fair.
with a little less death.
Yeah, with a little less died. A little less dying like a bitch in a graveyard.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
It's Cedric did he was better than that.
Yeah, he was.
All right, Cypher.
Yeah, Cypher, what do you think?
I think I'll have to go with a solid Gryffindor. That's the best I can come up with.
You're the
I wanna hear
you
your
would be
thoughts,
the
Josh.
hardest one to place.
I don't know why I was getting such Ravenclaw vibes off
That's what
of
I
you.
was getting too.
Ooh,
Like
I
you're
that.
like cause you're really meticulous and like you're real methodical in your
That's what I'm
in your
thinking.
movements and stuff like that. Like that's more that is more like that Ravenclaw kind of thing. But I can definitely see Gryffindor too.
He'd be
Because
on
like
the
you're
on
like
the
the
cusp,
protector.
but I think you would lean more into Ravenclaw because you're like much more precise, where Gryffindor's more like out in the open, big, bold, in your face, throw the papers up every time. Like, all right, we're fighting. Let's do this. You know, the unbridled courage. It is just. But I see you as very thoughtful, very meticulous. You know, like very ducks in a row. Clean my armor and weapons every night.
I like this. The fact that we had to think more about this means I'm doing it right.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
do you have any questions for each other?
All right, I already know his first, or I'm pointing at my screen, but I already know Cypher's first impression of Aleandra. What was Kosto's first impression?
I mean, I walked over and shook your shoulder. I'm just like my whole thing was like, what is this dumb chick doing asleep on the battlefield?
Yeah,
Wake up!
Right. Sounds about right. That's about right.
Like, why are you asleep here?
In my okay,
How
in
did you
my
come from
defense,
the snail?
you did watch me literally explode out of a snail shell.
This is true, and I kind of had a gist of how you got there, but I was like, wake up, and then my like that the continuation of that impression. If we all recall, Kosto said, "Don't pick up that bag. Don't put your hand in the bag. Don't tie the bag to your waist." Specifically told Josh, I'm staying at least 10 feet away from the bag that we don't know what it is.
Really, that would have been metagaming. Not once did Kosto tell Aleandra not touch the game, not to touch the bag. Not
Yes,
once.
I did.
You told me.
No, Kosto did say when you tied it on your bag. He said,
when
seeing
you
her
said
pick the
that,
bag
I said-
up, I'm saying
Yeah.
10 feet away.
Yeah, he said that, but he never looked at Aleandra and said, "Do not touch the bag." He never said that.
That's fair.
He spoke out of game.
That is
he
fair.
spoke out of game.
That is fair, but Kosto was still very leery of the bag when you put your hand in it. I mean, my initial thought when you got your hand caught in it was stupid.
That's fine. That's what she's going for.
I done told you.
That's fine.
I done told you.
I done told you without telling you.
That is very true.
Yeah. And my first impression of Cypher, I just kind of just assumed he was like the quiet mercenary type. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure that he's done anything to change that opinion so far. No, that's good. If that's what you're going for, it's perfect. Because that's how Kosto is just he's like, I can totally roll with this dude because he's not gonna get me in trouble, and he can cut shit down with some swords. So this is fine. We can be friends.
I can't wait till you guys actually see Aleandra in real combat.
Not with one hand in a bag.
Not with one hand in a bag, not
Passing
missing
out
every
from
single
blood
shot. Yeah, not literally. I can't wait for actual combat.
Ooh, the way that were we talking about first impressions or where things have gotten to
Yeah,
at this point?
both.
I mean, it's only 2 sessions in. I'd say this is all kind of categorized as first impressions.
Yep.
I guess so. Yeah, it's only been exemplified after the combat, but with the inclusion of Tullen in there, the way Cypher has seen Kosto is kind of for lack of better terms, we are the beefy boys. We're gonna be out there.
I have another question actually for you guys. Is there anybody in the party that your character does not trust? Is there anybody in the party that your character would immediately be like, nope, bad person? I think you've already kind of answered that one there, Kosto.
It's not that I don't trust Kias. It's just like he's like the friend that just like you hang out with him because he's like cool, but like it's sometimes like it's like way earlier than night than everybody else, and you're just like, hey, can you leave? Like I don't like I have no problem with him. Like I don't not trust him. It's just like we have very differing mentalities, so it would seem.
Listen, bro, I love you, but it's time to go home.
Yeah, it's time to go home. Like it's been fun. Oh, is it 7:30 already? Wow, you should leave.
Oh, so essentially, Keys is the kid that gets invited to the birthday party, but he's the only one that doesn't get the slumber party invitation right after.
Well, it's because he brings the best presents, but we don't want him to stay.
Oh no.
He's like the person you send the save the date for, but then don't send the wedding invitation.
Yo, Keys, just so you know, Aleandra loves everybody equally, so if you ever want a hug, man, I got you.
He does play that what's the word I'm looking, a little almost condescending. Almost. He's not straight up condescending. He's never been like, I'm better than all of you. But he's
I actually think those words may have come out of his mouth.
I'm pretty sure that was Atriel that was like, I'm better than them.
That's not actually
accurate.
That's actually not true because
Guilty by association.
So far, Keys is honestly the one that has pissed Aliandra off the most because he was the one that made her storm away when she got really fucking mad about the dagger.
I mean,
so actually, Keys.
You did grab Kias in a really inappropriate place.
I did grab Kias in a really inappropriate place.
I'm just gonna reach down and grab
we're just shitting on Kias right now, and I feel bad about it because I love his character.
His character is phenomenal.
Kosto just doesn't like him.
His character is so phenomenal. I'm really excited to play alongside him.
I love the accent from Kias too. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, for sure.
He does it so well. Okay.
Ooh, I like it.
So we're gonna go. I'm gonna let you guess who this one was from. Is there anything that your character won't eat?
Oh wow, I definitely think that was from Jaeger. 100%. Definitely the guy that can't eat anything. I think Aleandra's the kind of person that unless she really didn't like you, she would literally eat dirt if you gave it to her. Like when kids hand them Play-Doh and then get mad at the person for not eating the Play-Doh, she would be the one to eat the Play-Doh. Just to not offend them.
Fair enough. Cypher?
Or
Kosto, go ahead.
I'm not going to get into why because we'll figure it out. Because I actually just like kind of added this to my backstory, but he does not like angel food cake, and he won't eat it.
Fair enough.
Oddly specific.
Yeah.
And then I mean, honestly, if we're gonna keep like butchering and killing monsters, and Leonard's gonna keep cooking them, like I'm gonna run into something that I'm like, I'm not eating that. But like as far as like current things that I know that Kosto knows is food, like not beholder eyes or snail loins, because these were not on the menu growing up. Yeah, other than that, of regular food, angel food cake's the only thing you won't eat.
Cypher, we know you love mayonnaise, but anything that you don't want to eat.
There is one, but it depends on the time of day. Dairy, specifically cheese.
Is that something you're bringing over from real life?
Thinking about this very hard for a yes or no question.
Okay.
Interesting.
He won't ever eat like dairy or cheese in the morning.
Okay.
All right.
Which character? This one is from Leonard, Jake. Which character do you trust the most so far?
Yeah. Probably Leonard.
Also, weirdly, probably Leonard. There's like a simplicity to Jaeger that makes me want to trust him, but I still don't know enough about him. Leonard, it's a pretty cut and clear. Like I feel like Kosto feels like he has a really good read on who he is so far. So like I don't think that he doesn't feel like he's gonna get that much new information about him that would make him not trust him. He just seems like a bard that wants to cook shit.
I think is it for like me or Cypher?
Cypher.
I think in some contradictory way it would have to be Kias, because the few times that he's tried to exaggerate things or lie, they've been pretty obvious. So to him, it's like, okay, if he tried anything, it'd be fairly obvious to me.
That's
fair
a really good
enough.
answer.
Trust that you can distrust this person.
Yeah.
You trust him because you don't think he's capable of actually lying to you. Person I trust least is Tullen. I changed my mind. I told him not to tell her to say that he was a bear, and he was a bear. I changed that answer from before. Tullen is my least trusted character.
Because he just blew it. It's 1 second in.
Don't tell the new girl that you were once a bear. We're gonna hold it as a secret. 2 minutes.
I was just
we
a
should
bear
put
a
a
minute
timer
ago.
on that. We're gonna put a timer on that.
That was gonna be so good.
That's too great.
It's such a Tullen thing too, and it was so in character. God damn it!
He did hit that character right on the head.
Really was the character.
Oh, but I was just a bear a minute ago.
Colin, didn't we just say, oh, sorry? I'm just
Darn
a little
leprechaun.
guy. That's what he said in chat. He's just a little guy. Kies says to that, they should all trust Kies because they should all trust Kies the most because he's so honest.
The most honest.
Honestly good at faking injuries.
I mean, you don't know that he fakes injuries.
That's very true.
Maybe he just has like a really low tolerance for pain, and he was like, "Oh, I'm dying."
I mean, honestly, we spent like a good 15 minutes just throwing mud on him. So
That is true. He said he was injured. This one comes from Leonard. Do your characters? Kia says that was a third of his health. But this question from Leonard. Do your characters aspire to build like a stronghold of some kind at some point?
I don't
build
think...
or capture? Have yes. Build no. Capture yes.
Good answer.
I don't think she would even know and or ever think about that.
Cypher?
I don't think he's thought about that at all. To be honest, he's kind of just like moving with the flow.
I mean, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I have one in mind.
I know you do. I've worked very hard on fleshing all that out for you.
All right,
I am
that
excited.
sounds like something I want to avoid.
Doesn't have to
No, it'll be
Atriel's
fine.
house.
You can live in my keep.
So when are we storming Atriel's house?
Oh,
Just
that's
kick
not
some-
it.
I'm gonna
Just
be
put
honest.
some dirt on his robe.
Don't
I
wipe
really
your
don't think
feet.
that. I really don't think that taking Etriel's house from him would be all that hard.
Okay, so here's a question. This is a good question from Jake. Leonard. What is your character's pet peeve? Like tapping sticks or whistling or something, some minor annoyance that is their pet peeve.
Ooh.
Not looking their best. And like when I say that, I mean like their personal best. Like for Talon, having stained clothing would be normal for him and such, but like him dressing himself up in like a jester outfit for like a castle get together or something, I think would bother her, kind of thing. Like not looking comfortable, kind of thing.
Okay.
And that goes for anybody, not just the party.
Okay.
I think Cypher's actually came up last session, and it's his gear not being maintained enough. When his swords weren't cutting into the snake at all, he immediately went back to the tavern and just started going at his swords, trying to sharpen the edges.
Even though they were very sharp to begin with.
They can be sharper.
I don't know for Kosto. He doesn't particularly like crowds. Like big crowds of people. And he also, it's not, I don't know if it's a pet peeve per se, but he's really not a fan of festivals. Like celebrations, festivals, stuff like that. Like just really not a big fan. Like avoids them now.
Okay. Good answer. Circling around to the NPCs, as you brought up Atriel earlier, what are your feelings about... What do you think is going on behind the scenes between Atriel and Miriam?
There's a funny answer to that.
Yeah. What's your? I want to hear your funny answer now.
Adult things.
Yeah, adult things. That's what I'm going with. Adult things. Adult things where
Adult stuff.
Adult stuff. I think would be the funny thing. I don't think Aleandra has enough of experience with any of them to comment on that.
What about you, Kosto?
I think like at this juncture with Kosto anyway, I think that he is kind of like just taking it at face value. Like he's just trying to do the guild's work, and he's here, and he's not like kind of here against his will. Just because he pissed off too many people at the guild, and I don't necessarily see the problem that Kosto sees is like in the last session he showed like a tremendous amount of concern for like the safety of the miners, but that doesn't make any sense because he'd want because the guild doesn't care about that. The guild just wants their stuff. So the more reckless they are, and the faster that they mine, the faster that the trade with the town looks good, and he might have a shot at getting out. So even though I read him as genuine, his actions aren't matching up per se, which doesn't really tell me why. Remind me her name.
Miriam.
Miriam, which doesn't really tell me why Miriam doesn't like him, except for I think Miriam might not like him just purely by clash of Miriam probably doesn't like him for the same reason I don't like him. This clash of personality. But I don't find his actions and words to match up as far as what he actually wants. I don't think trying to keep the town safe is going to get him out of there any quicker.
Okay. Cypher, what do you think?
So for Cypher in character, his interactions with either person has been very limited to like just them yelling at each other. So he hasn't really thought about it much. His main focus has just been on like, okay, people are getting hurt in these mines. Let's just deal with that. Out of character, if I could have like posted like notes in the background with like red lines going across, linking them together, I probably would.
You can. I won't stop you.
Because I tend to overthink things, but that kind of helps when I'm like writing or creating something, and in my head it's like, well, Miriam's just trying to go into the mines and help out the town, but what if actually secretly in the background Atriel is trying to like mess with the town's capability to mine to get him out of there? Because if his letters aren't working, maybe just getting rid of the town itself and its usefulness will get him moved somewhere else. Like maybe he's messing with the mines in some way or form that Miriam doesn't know about yet.
Okay. It's a good that's a very interesting take on their relationship there.
I'm trying to read Josh's face.
Insight check?
Insight.
See, right on here. Not gonna happen.
11.
Yeah, no.
Oh man.
I mean,
I rolled a 9.
if I, not Aleandra, but if I had to take a guess as somebody who was watching it, my personal guess would be that Miriam hates Etriel for a very good reason. I don't think he's genuine. I agree with what Kosto said. But at the same point, I also have the question of, is Miriam the one who's not genuine? Is she really trying to bring something down in the mines to make Etriel's life shittier kind of thing? So.
It's an idea. Let's see here. Ooh, this comes from Jake. Will your character be open to romance?
That's a hard pass for Kosto.
I figured as much from Kosto. Cypher, what about you?
That's interesting. For like me as a player handling my character, I am pretty much open to whatever. But Cypher as a character will probably be a little against the grain on that.
Okay. What about you, Braylon?
Here's my problem with answering that. The character I built is Anna from Frozen, and if she gets conned into a really bad romance like Anna from Frozen did, I don't think that she's gonna have a sister to warm her heart and unfreeze her. If you understand my metaphor kind of thing.
I gotcha,
So as much as like I know that she would probably fall for somebody, it's also like as a player something that like as much as I'm open to it, I fear it because I've built such a naive girl.
True. This is a good one from Tim. What is your favorite moment from the last 2 sessions? Just pick one favorite moment.
Ooh.
Well, I guess Aleandra would be for 1 session from you.
No, can I pick from the first session? I
guess
watched
you
the whole
could.
thing.
Yeah. Tough question.
There's so many good ones too.
There really is.
The squishy bits part is just still just so good.
That is a pretty good one.
That was just a fun little scene.
Yes, it was.
I think I'm gonna pick the whole little squishy bits thing. I think that or when Kosto stormed off when Tullen decided to say, "Oh, I was a bear a few minutes ago," like because it was just so pure and in character, and me being me, and also Kosto were so mad.
I think I think my favorite moment was when Aleandra was super ticked off and she had that little bonding moment where Kosto was like, I think I should probably bring her a beer. And then people decided that they wanted to talk to her because she was such a caretaker for so long that being able to vent was really rare for her because it was just her and another lady at that orphanage. So being able to vent was really hard because what are you going to do? Vent to children about other children? So I think that moment was kind of a really nice moment for her in general, and that's why I appreciate that one.
Okay. Cypher?
I'm stuck between 2 of them. It's either when Tullen blew the scheme, or when Kias missed his Eldritch Blast, and his excuse was, "Oh, I'm just so tired. My shoulder it hurts."
That was a good
also
one.
very true. That's also very true.
Yeah, that's really good too.
I think my favorite
Honestly,
was...
yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say now that you brought up Kias, him and Atriel in his like kitchen, that was also pretty comical.
It was good. I think mine was just a look of realization, fear and realization when Aliandra got her hand stuck in the bag.
gonna lie, I still did not clue in it was a bag of devouring. Even as it was eating me, I'm sitting there and I'm like, why am I being eaten by a bag of holding? Is there a monster in it? Like, Braylon, my entire brain shut down. Personally, my entire brain shut down. And I was just like, this, I don't understand I'm like looking at my own hand, like, I don't understand what's going on. It was just a moment of like zero brain power, like power outage all throughout.
Just
And
when
then Leonard
Kosto goes,
licked it.
yeah, that was pretty
and
great.
then
That whole
Leonard
bag
licked it.
part was pretty good.
Leonard sees this thing eat me, and then he's just like, I wonder if I can eat it in return.
Culinary bard vengeance.
Vengeance board. Vengeance culinary board.
Vengeance culinary bard. You try to eat me, I'll eat you.
Bite you
I
back.
honestly really like that idea for his character, because honestly, everything we fight that's not humanoid is gonna be like that.
Please.
Like, he's gonna fight a dragon and be like, you wanted to eat me? Let me show you what's gonna happen now that we've killed you. Like, it's good.
Please.
I have lists. Every NPC I throw your way, I have lists now. Like, what
No, it's
could
like-
possibly... Who's
It's
gonna
just-
try to taste this monster?
Who's
I love
gonna
it.
eat this?
I love this so much because instead of being concerned that our bard is gonna try and do adult things with a big bad evil guy, we're concerned that he's gonna try and eat the big bad evil guy.
We did have a chat before he settled on board that there would be no overpowered seduction, no like, hey, I'm gonna seduce this, whatever it is.
It's like that meme where the guy polymorphs into a donkey and then seduces the dragon. It's like, I think I know where this is going.
Yeah,
Hey
no.
Josh,
Yes.
hey Josh, you want a bit of evil advice or not an evil idea that Leonard is absolutely gonna hate?
What?
If you want to give Leonard trauma, you should make him accidentally bite into something with acid so he loses his taste buds.
Oh.
No.
That's too mean.
Yeah, it is.
No.
That's a status condition. We'll get rid of that.
Yeah, that would be poison.
It would be a status condition. It would be.
Coming from Leonard, what's your character's secret guilty pleasure?
Violent. No, it's just
Batman.
I'm Batman. The problem is secret guilty pleasure, because like guilty pleasure is definitely drinking, but secret guilty pleasure is a tough one. Probably weeping silently to himself.
Okay. Cypher. Secret guilty pleasure.
A secret. Okay. I'm really hesitant on the secret part because I feel like this might.
You just gotta you don't have to say why it's a secret. Just say what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know why I weep silently in the
go.
corner.
Just but playing catch with local children.
Okay.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that's a thread I want to tug on.
Aleandra.
That's really hard because she doesn't have secrets, but I think that hers would be like the person who like is always offering somebody else a hug when they're having a bad day kind of thing. But when she's having a bad day and somebody else offers her a hug, that's just like her prize moment of like, oh my god.
She won't
Thank
say
you.
anything.
She won't say anything. She won't ask for it, and she'll definitely take it and just be like, "This makes everything better. Thank you."
Oh, I didn't need that. Come here, don't let go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you don't have to. No, we're not done yet.
Yeah, no. This is a 30 second minimum, and it's not an awkward side hug. Just saying.
If it's not 30 seconds, does it really count as a hug?
Well, true.
Okay, so this one from Tullen. How problematic do you think your character is going to be for the party?
Very,
Oh, Jesus Christ! On a scale of 1 to 10 and 11.
very.
So we have 2 11s.
I don't know if I'd say 11. I can handle a lot. Yeah, 11. It's bad. It's bad.
I know.
Aleandra can handle.
It's so
Aleandra can handle
bad.
herself.
You guys don't even know. It's so bad.
The problem is with Aleandra, if she gets the party into trouble, she can handle it. But the other problem is her handling it can and possibly will cause more trouble.
I think had to give the Cypher like a solid 3 or 4, and that comes from kind of like where I expect him to fit into the party. On top of being like the big dude, I see him fitting a lot as the Lancer, which in writing for those who don't like do much writing themselves is kind of like the character who is the main character's foil. So a lot of their characteristics are the opposite, and that's mainly to bring out the main character's thought process. So probably the biggest example would be like Sherlock Holmes and Watson, where he constantly asks like, hey, why are we doing this, to get the thought process out. And Cypher, I see him doing that a lot with the rest of the party, pretty much like challenging their decisions to try and bring something out.
The why guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one came from Music Maven earlier. I wanted to wait till she was in the stream. What does everyone think of Tullen's bangs?
Oh God. Cullen's bangs or Jake the sequel's bangs?
Jake 2's bangs.
I think we're gonna have a competition over whose hair is bothering them the most being in their face.
I don't think my comments are safe for stream.
Oh God. He's in high school. We had this discussion.
Which is an additional reason that they aren't safe for
He's
stream.
18 now. He is 18.
He is 18.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it better.
That doesn't make it better.
Approval.
Listen, I have a ponytail, so I can't really say anything.
Well, it's my hair has gotten so long.
Oh my God.
I wasn't expecting that to fall out of your hat. I'm gonna be
Not
honest
at
here.
all.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
hold
why I
on.
wear
I
a
know-
hat.
I know you have a man bun, Josh. I do know that. I was not expecting.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, Josh has a full-on lion's mane.
Oh my.
I mean, when we graduated, my boyfriend and my boyfriend's hair was longer than mine at the time. So our grad pictures are awesome. I have extensions in, and his hair is still longer than mine.
Yeah, I just haven't got a haircut.
Yeah.
I could definitely bang flip. I could bang flip with the best of them if I didn't wear a hat, but I wear a hat, so I don't have to do that.
Actually, I can give you guys a weird fact about me, but I'm gonna take my headset off. So my hair is nasty, but this amount of hair that you actually see on my head, this is half of my hair. The underside of my head is shaved up to here because I have so much hair that it's unmanageable. I can't even brush all the way through it on a good day if I have that much hair. I have too much hair.
That is. Yep, I know that feeling. My barber
Yeah,
hates my
it's-
hair.
Yeah, I used to get charged. I had one hairdresser charge me like $75 for a haircut or something like that, and it was because it took her like 3 hours to cut my hair, but she was also very slow. So,
Cypher, what do you think of the bang flip?
Bang flip?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh.
oh yeah, I was
Please
gonna say
more.
he did say he loved it.
Oh,
He did?
More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in.
All the
I
bang
like
flip.
it. Music Maven, so my NPC is written down. It has not yet been packaged because I'm getting art made for the Thigh NPC.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you actually?
Yes. And when
I'm
I get the
terrified.
art, I will have the character sheet printed and I will have it put on this wall. This wall.
So excited.
I'm genuinely
Big
terrified
empty
at this
spot.
point.
We'll have a folder,
God.
like a sealed with signed envelope. Yeah. Just figured I'd
Okay,
put
so
that one
it's-
out.
It's gonna be hidden.
Yeah, you won't see inside
Okay.
until the NPC comes out.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So here is one from Tim, or Jaeger. Of all the characters, who do you think is hiding the most or has the most history behind them?
Cypher. No, actually, I'm going with Jaeger because he was only born 10 days ago.
interesting. This is really hard because I feel like we all have a lot of baggage.
I kind of want to say Tullen. He's just so out there that there's got to be something.
Yeah, and he's never touched on his. I think everybody else has minorly touched on theirs, but I don't think
Tolan
he
did a
at
little
all.
bit. He said he's only ever been to 2 towns.
What happened at that first one?
That's like saying a mosquito bite breaks the surface. It's like a
Yes.
temporary tiny little notch.
I think I would go with Cypher, only because he's more of the mysterious character.
I'm gonna stick with Jaeger because he's the only character that I think is actually possibly older than Aleandra.
Just so everyone understands the idea of Warforged, because your character is what I'll worry about it. He is at minimum 10,000 years old.
Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, Jaeger gets my vote.
But he just powered back up 10 days ago. So like, you guys would all know that they got deactivated, however, and so that's a piece of campaign info that you guys, all of your characters would know because you guys are all traveled.
I am 1/10 Jaeger's age. Nice.
Not even.
It's a game changer.
Not even.
Almost.
1/100th.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm adding it to a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm adding it to 1,000, not 10,000.
So, yeah. Music Maven says you can't spell D&D without dysfunction.
Which is just another word for botched.
Yeah, that is true. If you would like, I will reach out to someone, Music Maven, and we can put a chat hair flip counter, but you will have to make sure you track them in the chat.
She makes
That's you can do a custom command for that.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna have that one made.
There's gonna be a
gonna be
nat
awesome.
1 counter and a hair flip counter.
The
Love it.
nat 1 counter will come from us. The hair flip counter will come from chat.
There needs to be
I-
a YouTube compilation for that one. The hair flips.
Oh,
Easy.
That's easy.
Actually, that's a very good question. Is she able to watch now? Because
I think so.
Okay.
How many crit ones have we had so far? I think that's. What?
or I think because there's 2 in the first session. I think there's 2 in the second.
I think so.
I had a couple, but they were on advantage.
And then I know nat 1s, not 20s. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I
Oh,
rolled
okay.
some ones, but they didn't count.
because they had advantage, so they didn't count.
I think 3 or 4, yeah. Somewhere
I
between
think
that.
3 or 4.
I think it's 4.
I think it is. But I don't think any of them were like major. Wasn't there like, was it Cypher that rolled 1 attack and it was a nat 1? Wasn't there like 1? No, I thought there was.
No, you might
No,
be thinking
'cause-
of when Kias got his Eldritch Blast reflected back at him.
That is what
was,
I'm thinking of.
That was a 1, but that was on a whole different roll. That was only a D6. Yeah, we haven't had any attack 1s yet. I would
Yeah.
remember those.
I mean, thanks to Leonard to have had advantage on pretty much every engagement with that fairy fire, which is baller because it keeps me from having to burn other things to give me advantage.
That is true.
Yeah, fairy fire is a great spell.
Cullen rolled a nat 1, and then he re-rolled it because he was a halfling, and I'm not allowed to talk about
That's
that being
right.
a halfling anymore.
Oh, speaking of which, Leonard, if you're here, if you ever need to get Cypher in Fairy Fire again, please do, because I'm just going to Reckless Attack anyway.
Fair.
Double advantage. That means they roll
Oh, yeah.
4 and take the highest.
Oh no.
That only goes for mobs, not for you guys. No, we're not counting ones that were re-rolled. Only the ones that actually stuck.
Only
Music
the
Maven.
ones that narratively ruin my day.
Yeah, actually, that was the funniest part of last session. Almost was the fact that poor Tullen is sitting there before session, like I'm never gonna roll a nat 1 because I'm a halfling, and then he rolls a nat 1 and forgets that he's a halfling.
Dude,
And
halfling
he sat
luck
through
is
it,
so good.
Narrated part of it, and then I was like, "Aren't you a halfling? Didn't you just tell us that you re-roll nat 1s?" And he was like, "Oh yeah."
I was like, oh no!
It is just the greatest and dumbest racial feat.
It is super OP, but it's only three
Oh, yeah,
times, and I'll just make him roll a lot.
You just take the luck. Yeah, but you do that, and then you just take the luck feat, where you get 3 more.
Oh God!
Is it 3 times the racial feat?
Stop giving him
I
I
ideas.
think so.
Let me look. I remember it just being permanent.
I'm actually pretty. So luck feat's 3 times. I'm actually pretty sure that the halfling racial trait is permanent. You just reroll
Yeah.
once.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
that's
You can
permanent.
reroll. I'm pretty sure you can reroll the ones, but if you roll a nat one the second time, you don't. You can't reroll that kind of thing.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you got to take the new ones.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure it's infinite. Yeah, it's such a great racial ability.
He gets that, but then there's the wild magic sorcerers get Tides of Chaos, where you can reroll one thing every day, and it's so lame because it's basically a really nerfed version of that halfling feat.
Unlimited. That's tough. I'm gonna have to make sure that he rolls a lot. Burn that up. It is infinite. Jesus. Just like your bangs. Oops. That was great music, Maven.
That's insane. I forgot that was permanent. That's nuts.
Reasons why he's 3 feet tall.
Well, yeah, I mean halflings do take a hit on enough other stuff.
True.
I mean, I remember when halflings still got the negative strength.
Yeah, they used to get now they bumped him to 30 feet, right? But they used to be 20, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Movement.
I think so.
Isn't there still a class that is like 20 or
Ooh,
something like
Leonard
that?
has a great question. What magic item would your character like to get the most?
Oh no.
Character is different than Anthony. Anthony wants an immovable rod because every campaign I play in, I want to have him at disposal.
Okay.
They're character wise, I don't even know if Kosto knows what an immovable rod is.
They're not uncommon enough that you wouldn't know what they are.
Yeah, so yeah, but he wouldn't. Nah.
You may
I-
not want
I would-
one to the level that Anthony wants one.
No, he wants one really bad. Probably a wand of fireball because as a caster, he's envious of casters that get to cast fireball, so he wants a wand of fireball.
Okay. Cypher?
I don't think you're gonna be envious when I cast it on myself.
For Cypher in character, he's pretty like sufficient when it comes to any item he's got. So I don't think he's not actively looking for any upgrades. But for
Okay.
me as a player, anything that would increase his agility in combat, so like faster movement speed, ability to jump further, more attacks, anything like that.
Okay.
Aren't there dash beads? Is that a
It's
thing?
the same as your movement speed.
Oh.
We kind of talked about this a little bit last night. I think Aleandra would want a healing, like something to heal people with. I don't know if she would know what it is, but personally, like if I had to make the choice, I would like to see her with a staff of healing. That'd be cool. I don't know if she would know what that is though.
Infinite band-aids.
Yeah, basically. Like, I don't know if she would know what a staff of healing is, so I'm just saying, like, saying a healing thing. The other thing that I think she would also really enjoy is something that made her feel like she had a bit more control over her magic, which would be something to either focus on, like a magic item that can hold concentration on a spell for her. I think she would also be really into. I take back the sneaky thing because she's already got like Misty Step a billion times in her kit, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But I
like
think
a
something that would make her feel in more control, like an item that could hold concentration, kind of thing.
like a ring of spell storing would be good for her because she
Yeah,
can like
that
cast
too.
spells. She could cast spells into it when she's away from anything that she could hurt, and then use them later.
Yeah.
True enough.
That's actually thematically that's pretty character. It's pretty character specific. Would be something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
just
not too
picturing
bad.
her throwing up into a bag of holding. Like her magic surge is just her throwing up into a bag of holding, essentially. Sounds terrible.
Bag of infinite vomit.
Yep.
Just don't put your face in it because it'll bite you back.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, I don't think she's gonna be going purse shopping anytime soon.
Music Maven says, "Isn't Cypher the immovable rod as the group's tank?" Ooh.
Fair enough.
This is
Who,
metagaming
so,
a little.
so
Go ahead.
who is the tank between the two of us though? Because you have higher, like I guess we're both technically tanks. I have higher AC, you have higher hit points, and you take
Yeah.
everything at half damage.
Yeah, and I also
Yeah,
think
so
you'll
he's the
be
tank.
more you'll be doing more damage than I am with smites.
I'm more bursts damage, but I think you end up with, especially with 2 attacks with your offhand with dual wield, you're probably more consistent damage. I'm probably more burst damage. We'll probably keep jumping each other as like in damage range.
Actually, I have a counterpoint to you on your tank question. I think Talon's the tank.
Circle Moon
bear
Druid, yeah.
HP. I think Talon's
Infinite
the tank.
HP. Talon.
Well, he only gets 2. He only gets 2 to start.
So here's the thing.
That's
Talon's
400,
the tank.
500 HP.
And Leonard gives him the fuel to be the tank because Leonard's the cook. So I mean, like, I vote that Talon's the tank.
Wait, how much HP does a brown bear have?
I will let you know when you fight one.
That's why we're the beefy boys. The 3 of us are all just one big tank.
Yeah, at some point I will ride Talon into battle. Like he can ride on my shoulders in halfling form, and then when we fight, like I'll just jump on bear Talon.
Oh my god.
Brown bear only has 34 hit points.
Yeah, but he's 3. It's still, you have to kill 3 characters.
Yeah. So altogether, that's 100. And what do you guys have?
I'm at like 38.
I think I'm at 30 even.
I got 55.
No, since we went up 50 or 45.
Yeah, I think I'm at 30 even since we went up because I went from 24 to 30. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So you're looking at like, and he went up too. So he could change into a stronger bear.
Reasons why I want to stop
double
healing.
double that health because ancestral protectors will give everyone resistance if they get hit.
Yeah. That's we're a tough little group to kill, and then you have our spell snipers in the back.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be I'm up to the challenge, I think.
Can we not go out on? Can we like not go out of our way to kill the party though?
I mean, that's my whole job.
It's okay.
Yeah, because
I'm just gonna like honestly at this point she's just gonna die to like a plant that looks at her funny. So gonna like, oh, this is a pretty flower, and it's gonna bite her.
Could happen. Definitely could happen. Another great question from Jake. What monster would you, the player, want to fight?
Dragon.
Ooh.
I mean, I can arrange that if you level 4s want to fight a dragon.
No, it's good. We're good.
how big of a dragon? Like a young dragon?
Like a wormling.
As long as if we can avoid the first breath weapon of a young dragon, I think we'd have a shot. Not a good one, but a shot.
What would you like to fight?
Ooh.
There's one that I've always wanted to fight. It is the Astral Dreadnought.
That sounds terrifying.
That sounds
It's
awful.
Massive.
Yeah, that's like a level 20 character fight right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like if you
like-
have managed to tame a Tarask and take it with you.
I don't like how excited he is about it. Like he's like,
I think it's like CR30 something. It looks amazing.
CR35, and it has hundreds of thousands of hit points, I think.
This
Yeah,
is
just-
this is not meant to be a brag. The one thing that I've never fought, one of the things I've never fought is one of the most common monsters, and I have never fought a beholder. I have fought a zombie beholder, and whatever the smaller, smarter version of a beholder is, but I've never fought an actual beholder. What's that thing called? Is it the smaller, smarter version that can actually talk to you and crap? What's the smaller version of a beholder called?
Beholders can talk to you.
Yeah, beholder's death speech.
Yeah.
I don't know the smaller one.
There's a smaller one, and it's supposedly smarter, from what I remember, and I can't remember what it's called.
I mean, Kosto has a Deva with his name on it, so.
I mean, here's
A
a
devil?
toned down
Or
version
devil?
of the Astral Dreadnought. And this is like a weakened one, and it's challenge level 21.
Ooh, I do like that
Oh, yeah.
question.
Ooh, what? Which one? Which question?
Music mavens.
Oh, what magical items does the DM want to play with? That's tough. Define play with. Like, what magic items do I want to give out?
Spectator. That's what I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah, they're guards rather than. Typically, they're guards rather than.
It was guarding a magic item. I had to fight it.
Okay. So give out to the players or use to fuck over the party. I like to use. Well, giving out. I try to tailor the magic items I give out to the party, but I also like to stage them in a way that they are almost the magic items are almost catching up to them. So I don't like to give them an item to boost their power level. I like to wait until they're up and then kind of give them something to shore them up. Usually, I do tend to tailor items very specifically, though. I do use a lot of homebrew items, and to fuck over the party. That
Bag
would
of holding.
be,
Yeah,
as we missed, bag of holding is a great one. I like to give, so I give items ambiguously, I guess would be the best word. Mysteriously, I could say. I like to give a description and then kind of leave it to like, oh, I found this. I wonder what it is. And then, you click it, and depending on whether you check to see if it was a bomb, it just depends. But if you didn't check to see if it was a bomb, it explodes. I like to really test out, make the party really work to make sure that they found something that they want to use rather than just like, I found this bag on the ground in a dungeon. Let me put my hand in it. As Aleandra
in my
find
defense,
out.
I honestly thought that was a decent way to test if it was safe or not.
I mean, we found out, yeah.
Yes, you did find out.
Then we learned something. Thank you.
Bag of holdings are great, Music Maven, but you don't just stick your hand in one randomly. What monster does our benevolent DM want to try to kill the party with the most? Ooh.
Why are you asking? You're part of the party. Why are you giving him these?
Just to figure out what I'm gonna throw at you guys. So I did away. I don't use a lot of goblins, or goblins mostly, because I think that they're really, really good. I mean, I can take out a party of like a party of level 8s or 9s with 12 goblins in their lair. If you use them
small
correctly.
Contingent of like elite hobgoblins are a nightmare.
Yes. I like to throw. I like to build into monsters, I guess I could say. Like, I'm gonna try to leave, like, to push you guys into conflicts that are gonna make you guys grow. So stuff that would be morally tough for you to come to terms with. Like either having to take up arms against someone that you care about, or having to defend yourself from a group of people that you trusted. Just stuff that really makes your character, like you and your character, think and go, what happened? How did it get to this? How can I not have to kill the people I care about again? How can this meant a lot to me? How did I end up here?
Role play evil, not real world evil.
Yeah.
Kosto just like, so anyway, I started blasted.
Yeah.
Aliandra just like, nope, I'm choosing to cast Fireball on myself for this fight. Thanks, though.
A little bit. Other than these chats, and game time, do the players... I'll give you wait, before we go to that, I'm going to give you a couple of my favorite monsters. I love to use phase spiders. Love phase spiders. I love things that have a quirky mechanic to them. Like phase spiders.
Those and fucking blink dogs, dude. They're a nightmare.
Blink dogs are great. Yeah, anything that can go ethereal and like phase out and phase back in. Shadows. are another great one because they can hide so easily. I like things with quirky mechanics, but like face biters is probably one of my favorites. Right up there with the flail snail, which you guys have already run into, is one of my favorite low level mobs to throw at a party because it can wreck someone if they don't catch on.
Oh, if I didn't have a good AC, I would have just straight up died.
Yeah, they get a good bit of attack, and with the spell reflection, that's tough to overcome. Yes, other than these chats and game time, do the players spend any time on video, chatting, or getting to know one another to build camaraderie?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I did run a session 0 to make sure that they all got together at least once before the campaign started.
And then there've been other times where it's like, hey, I'm really bored. Let's pop into the call and talk. Like anybody who is available. What else has there been? Writing recaps. We've done a lot of talking in chats and everything like that, and in the voices as well. If you think we bully Tullen inside of the streams, you should see outside the streams.
Deep cut. Tullen being bullied.
You also just talk throughout the day by text.
Yeah, there's a lot of chat. I try to stay out of it a little bit so that I can let the party kind of gang up on me.
Yeah. It's like when you have a family chat and all the siblings are talking and dad's just reading through them to make sure that nothing's going wrong.
Yeah.
That's really basically what it is.
It really is.
I tried, yes, DM lurker. I tried to, DM moderator would be the technical term there.
I like lurker.
I try to push RP as much as I can, Music Maven. Just to,
I mean, our whole first session was just pure RP.
Yeah.
There have also been the funny points in voice call where some of us were practicing our voices. I mean, when I've been playing other games, like to practice role playing, when I've been playing other games with my friends on like in other Discord calls, I have just straight up practiced Aleandra's voice and creeped them out to the max. It's been a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun to do that.
Yep. I mean, I'll get to do a lot of accents, and I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna swing it. That's away. So, chat. Anybody in here? Anybody in here that hasn't asked a question yet? Want to know anything like super specific about a character?
That is a good way to say that.
Or a player.
I did see one. Agent Mike 1 asked, how many gophers can Cypher take on at once?
Oh, that's a fantastic question.
I'd say at least 4.
Gophers?
Gophers are
You have swords.
They're like CR level 8 though.
What'd you say?
They're like CR level 8 though.
Wait, are we talking about like is there a monster manual gopher? I don't know.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, I put Cypher at least 10 gophers.
Giant ethereal gophers.
I would say less than 1,000, but more than 100. I'm sorry, that man swings his sword around and they go flying like lemmings off a cliff.
I mean,
really
here's the
would
thing,
become
though, if you get more
you
than
just get
8,
tired.
they could burrow under him and just collapse the ground on him.
Well, it takes some time though. He could just move.
True.
I mean, but you don't know that they're gonna do that until they've done that. So he could just be taking a nap in the field and then boom, sinkhole.
Yeah,
but that's a sneak attack moment. That's not him fighting and being able to take 8 of them. That's them like, haha, screw this guy.
I mean, they're also not just, you don't expect them just to line up. I mean, he clearly has swords. They have teeth.
No,
Let me just stand here while he swings his sword at us.
How intelligent are these gophers?
I'm giving him
That's gonna be a full
like
debate.
a 14.
Intelligence?
Yeah. No.
Oh, so they're
like a 6.
so they're awakened gophers.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
awakened gophers could you get?
Wait. Are these gophers secretly druids? Just wild shaped
Oh
into
yeah, I'm
gophers
playing.
to live as gophers?
This is 8 Tullens just spinning around.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
8 coordinated druids that are all wild shaped into gophers.
That should have been our party.
Or beavers, just knocking trees down.
Hey, I can make that happen. I'll bring beavers to the hot tub stream.
Straight from.
I am.
Oh yeah, you're
Canadian. I
from
can do
Canada.
it.
That's your main export is beavers, isn't it?
Yes, beavers, and
Beavers, maple syrup, and kindness.
Here's a question from Music Maven. Why is Aleandra so open honest? So many characters have secrets. What is it about her that bucks this trend? Is it a personality thing, a past experience, something in the stats that Braylon decided to act on?
I think so. Aliandra is so honest because she was raised by her mother, and she is just where she was raised is blissful ignorance. She really didn't start exploring the world until a few years ago, so there was no reason to not be open and honest. And she kind of had very little interaction with anybody but her mother, so there's no reason not to trust anybody in the world. Like, she had interaction, don't get me wrong, but it was less so than normal people. I don't know if you disagree with any of that, Josh.
I mean, I kind of let the personality totally up to the player.
Yeah.
We had lots of chats on like mechanics and things like that, but when it came to personality wise, I really wanted to leave that up to the players.
I more meant like the background, because we did the background together, so I don't know if you disagree with the fact that she didn't have a ton of experience with people or not.
A little bit. I think that motherly figure too kind of wanted her to lay everything out, because that's what I said. Mm-hmm. I kept asking, why would you play like that? Well, I just wouldn't. Mm-hmm. I don't have enough experience with people to know better.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then on top of that too, like because of the fact that she used to work at an orphanage, the only way to get a child to be honest with you is if you're being honest with them kind of mentality. That's just the kind of motherly friend that she is.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Music Maven says, I love the idea of using naivete as a character trait. I can't wait to see if the harshness of the outside world will strengthen this trait or squash it. I'm
really waiting for Kosto or one of the bigger guys to walk up to her and just scream in her face how stupid she's being. Genuinely, that's what I was waiting for.
Going to happen.
I know, it's going to happen, and I am looking forward to how that plays into her from that moment forward.
Well, so Aleandra and Kosto actually like have a fair bit in common as far as like mentality. Like, you're just like a slightly less far along on the whole jaded path as I am. Like, everything's rainbows and sunshines until one day it's not. Like when we were in the bar and you were kind of like giving your whole spiel, like that like resonated with Kosto as a character, but he still didn't care to tell anybody why yet, and still doesn't.
It's like, I'm on the yellow brick road and you're in the cornfield behind the scarecrow kind of thing.
I just need the party to be vested in Kosto as a person before things start to get really bad.
Yeah, you don't start out with like, yo, bro, I stabbed 6 people. You kind of let them know you first.
Yo, so these guys are coming and they're after me. You guys in?
Oh, by the way, my name's Kosto.
So on that note, though, I could almost guarantee you that if you said that to the party as a group next session, Tullen and Aleandra would be like, yeah, let's go. Because Aleandra wants to protect everybody, and B, Tullen was like, woo, adventure.
It's gonna come up.
Yeah, it will. I just think it's gonna be really funny when it does.
I don't know how Josh is gonna decide to ruin my day with it, but it's gonna come up.
We'll figure it out. Music Maven says, I've had this happen to me in the real world. I'm an idealist when it comes to my teaching. Being honest with my kiddos has worked for 11 years in my career and held my 15-year marriage together. So, ...
My boyfriend and my best friend tell me that it's really easy to tell when I'm lying and that I'm terrible at lying and to stop trying to do it, so.
On a side note, would you like to play some Discord poker?
Particularly. I don't know how to play poker. I'll kick your
Perfect,
butt.
I'll teach you.
Though. No, screw you. I know enough to know when somebody says, "Oh, let me teach you to play this game," it's only to make themselves feel better because they're better at it.
Well, I just want to take everybody's money, but that's here's a good question for Josh. Is there gambling in this world? Like organized gambling?
I mean, there's like dice, like basic dice games and stuff in taverns, but there's no like casinos.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I mean, people would
What's
understand,
that?
you know, most like soldiers, mercenaries, things like that would have at least some form of gambling to keep themselves occupied.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Ooh, good question.
Jake asks, who's a character you want to combo with? And I'll add to that, what combo are you thinking?
I am going to pick Tullen, and that is because I want him to transform into a bear and me to cast Misty Step on him with my Eladrin Elf capabilities and drop him on top of a bad guy. Just look at him and be like, okay, have fun, and drop him 10 feet above the bad guy.
I mean, my answer was the same except one less spell. I was just gonna throw him up there and let him drop on the bad guy.
See, but the problem is if I touch him and he vanishes, is the bad guy gonna know where he went? Is he gonna look up because he saw him get thrown? Or is he just gonna all of a sudden have a bear on top of him?
These are fair points.
I think mine would, for Cypher, would have to be a Kosto. Since they're like the two big dudes that hit things with weapons, I just see him like standing back to back, being surrounded by like 12 other guys, and they're just like, "You ready? Yeah, I'm ready."
Yeah, it's just like a Bucky Captain America kind of deal, like just throwing shields off of shit. Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be
That'd be
pretty funny.
sick.
Question for the whole group. Will the characters' backgrounds ever be available so the fans can enjoy reading through them? Yes.
I plan on posting mine. I'm waiting. It is actually somewhere on the internet if you wanted to look, but it's not the name Kosto I took out and made somewhere else.
I've been waiting for the queue.
I've
Yes.
also been waiting for the queue.
Once we have explored the backstories enough that they are not hidden from each other, then they will all become posted and available.
Yeah. Don't metagame. Don't
Yeah.
wreck your friend's fun by metagaming. PSA from D&D players.
Yes. Any other?
Yeah, probably sometime in the next couple of sessions. Like I'm
Probably.
guessing Kosto's story is gonna come up sooner rather than later. And like
Could be
just-
sooner
just
and
my-
later.
sooner and later, but like the whole gist of his like the crux of his backstory is the only thing that he's like still keeping secret. Like once that's out in the open, the rest is negligible.
I guess I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like the last like 6 days of his life. Other than those last 6 days, everything else is just spoof.
Yeah, you just know right up to then, and then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I have a question for you two.
Which two?
Actually, all three of you. Which character are you most excited to see how their arc ends up? And what I mean by that is a drastic change, how their story ends, their backstory. Which character are you most excited to see that arc kind of peak and then come back down?
Ooh, I'll let you guys answer this first.
Yeah, Kevin.
Helen for sure. Helen.
I think Kosto's. I'm pretty excited. I'm just kidding. I think my answer might actually also be Tullen, just because like it's really fun to watch. Like, because I feel like everybody else, has some like at least generic agenda, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but the perception right now is like, dude just wants to go adventure, and like that's the kind of mentality that can really lead to a very fun story arc.
I'm going with Leonard because I want to see what his best dish that makes him arc back down is. I only want to know what the dish that he scrambles for most is, and I want to see him cook it. That is why I'm going Leonard.
I'm gonna say I'm stuck between. I know Kosto has. I have arcs planned for everyone, kind of like generally written out. I know.
Dude,
Kosto
I don't even want
has
to
a good
know what
one.
you have in line for me.
Kosto has a good one. Tullen has a good one. But I think the most excited I am is to see Jaegers. Because
That's a really good point.
when we wrote Jaegers, when Tim and I sat down and really wrote Jaeger's character, with Warforged having such a specific place in history, we really worked on his backstory, and to have him finally realize, I think, when it finally comes full circle for him, I think will be a great moment. I mean, I have an idea where I want to take everyone, but I'm sure that will change a lot as we go.
Excited.
Oh, another question for the DM. How much time a week do you spend prepping the individual sessions, and how much time do you spend on general world building / story character arcs? Ooh, I'm going to answer that in three
All of it.
parts. I'm going to answer that in 3 parts. So, prepping for individual sessions, I'm going to say minimal. I have a general idea of the way I want the session to... Whatever I'm going to lead the session off with is where I start. And I only plan for about the first hour of the session. Because if I don't write the story, I just make the world. Now the other 2 parts of that, world building and story character arcs, days. Like, I will spend 8 hours a day on my computer figuring out what's happening with these 2 NPCs that the characters are going to meet, and what's gonna, what this town thrives on, and where the idea that I could lead them for the next week. What small hints am I going to drop to really let the world, to really put them in the world. But as far as the individual session, I like to just kind of, I look at it like a snowball. I just want to get it rolling down the hill and then let them all take it wherever it goes.
Straight into the side of a tree.
I mean,
Yeah, every time.
you guys have the reins.
Ha! Botched
You
rolls.
wanted to go all the way down the mountain. We made it 4 feet. Before it completely
Gosh.
fell apart.
You mean your notes aren't just like on one sticky note? Got like 2 sentences on it?
Listen, I have 1, 2, 3,
Oh my goodness.
4. Hold on. Oh, this is all world stuff,
Ooh.
and like,
I have
this is all maps. This is all character notes for you guys. This one's actually empty. I don't know how that got in there. But like, I have
an empty notebook and in my full notebook.
I know. I got. This is.
What is this?
Oh, these are fights you guys may encounter. NPC sheets.
Wait, can you hold that up?
Wait, hold on.
one more time? I need to hit a button. While we're
Somebody go back and clip that.
yeah, please, thank you.
I mean,
While we're doing,
there's I have NPCs for days that I may never use.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I really like to focus on building the world. That's my DM style. I like to build the world and the people in it, and then kind of let them do what they're gonna do. I have like an idea what's going on here and here and here, but I don't force them into anywhere.
while we're doing show and tell, why don't we show everybody our dice?
I have
All
way.
my
That's gonna
dice are
take way
all my
too
dice are
long.
upstairs. I feel like this might be
Am I the only one with access to my dice?
all my dice. We don't need us for this campaign. They're all upstairs.
Yeah, but I still keep mine in my desk.
Question for the DM: why are you using all those notebooks versus using some type of OneNote application for easier access and storage? Good question. I write much faster than I type. And usually I have so many things up on the screen between the stream on, running over here. I have the music running, so you guys can still hear that it's still there. The stream manager, which is a whole different thing. plus all their character stats up. So I'm kind of overloaded on the screens as it is. So it's easier for me just to jot notes down as I think of them. But I do have tons of stuff categorized into folders on my PC. And a lot of it I pull from there. So like if I want to like stat blocks and things like that, so I can just go in and pull that and then make some quick notes about, I want them to fight a flail snail and a Grek Alpha. So I just, go in and pull their stat blocks and then jot some notes down about their HP and then keep their stats up so I can glance at it for attacks. But using that OneNote application just takes too much time to try to find everything within it when I can keep like a tablet and stuff over here and stuff over there. And I usually don't all need it at the same time. Another one, unfortunately for me, is do you have a favorite style of journal book to write all your stuff? That depends. So I have plain paper notebooks that I do a lot of my world building on because I can just like graph stuff or just like sketch a map out or whatever. I use a lot of these yellow, what do they call them? Legal pads?
Yeah.
There's nothing on that sheet, so don't worry about clipping it. I use a lot of those during the session because they're easy just to flip the pages and just keep writing little bits here and there. And then I have composition, like the black and white old school composition books for when I have like a side adventure that I plan to use in the future. I'll detail it out a little more in those and then keep that separate. That way, like everything kind of has its place. But if I had to pick one, it would definitely be the yellow legal pad, just because it's so easy.
You want to see a really cool notebook there, DM?
Sure.
I love my leather-bound notebooks. I can't get away from them. I love these so much.
I have those in the closet.
I love them so much.
But yeah.
Trapped in the closet?
Oh yeah, they're locked away. I have so many iterations of this world that I have like notebooks packed that every once in a while I'll look through and be like, oh, that's a great idea. Rip that page out, put it with my new stuff.
I have it's not done, but if we go to level 20 and everything and botched rolls is still cranking along, I have a world that I have built that I am more than happy to let you play in, or even if we just do it as like side nights. I have same thing, except the difference between you and me is everything's on my computer. I have everything in folders and notes and stuff like that on here with maps and stuff like that. I don't like to write. I like to do everything digital.
I have to be honest, I'd be the exact same way as Josh. Everything is written down for me or I can't do it.
I usually, like I said, I transcribe it quickly on there, and then whenever it's going to like a finished product, I'll put it in the computer and then save it.
All that details why you're a good DM and why I like to run one shots is because I can make up a whole one shot with zero prep.
I am a terrible DM because I always give my characters unintentionally a really easy way out of a situation.
I can't do that. I give you hard ways out of an easy situation.
Even if we thought of an easy way out of a hard situation, Josh would just change the situation so it sucked again.
Not necessarily. Only if I intended for it to suck greatly on purpose. Listen, you guys found a hard way out of an easy situation last stream. I'm just gonna say that.
A hard way out of an easy situation.
There's probably an easier way to get that bag off your arm.
No. I just mean that maybe it never would have been on your arm.
It just would have looked a little better.
Hey man, Aleandra wanted the battle scars. This is fine.
Any other questions for the cast here? The great cast.
Oh look, the question came up again.
Kosto, where did you get the Grogu from?
Grogu. It's
Grogu.
actually it was a gift from one of my old roommates. He got it at Costco. If you go and search Grogu back in the general chat of the Discord, you will find a link to purchase them on the interwebs. There's a whole
Nice.
series of them. There's an R2D2 one. There's a Chewbacca one. They are all that adorable.
The Squishmallows are so much cuter than the Build-A-Bear ones that came out.
So nice. Like he's so soft too. I take naps on him during the day when I'm slacking off.
That's a great thing. Why did you guys apply to be on a stream?
I already answered this. I didn't. I applied to play D&D. Play the game and music, Maven. Don't hate on a girl because she didn't read all the way through a post.
I just wanted to play in one of Josh's campaigns. Josh and I have played. We've played a little bit back and forth together. We used to actually. Did you ever play when we ran that D&D night at Sports Bar?
Yeah, every week.
Yeah, because that's right. Dude, that was like 3 years ago. We used to
Longer
run
than
one-shot
that.
nights. There was a sports bar that we used to run one-shot nights at. So like Josh and I have had a history of Dungeons and Dragons. It's like when I knew that he was running a stream game, I was like, I will do the applying.
He was like, what night? And I was like, Sunday. He was like, all right, Sunday's clear.
Yes, it is now. It wasn't before. Now it is. My stream schedule's changed. Everything done. Here, Sundays are free now.
Yeah, he was how did Anthony and I meet? Ooh.
High school sweethearts.
Actually, we met totally by accident. I play high level billiards pool, and his
I
roommate,
play low level billiards.
well, your roommate. I came over for the party with
Oh, that's right.
Randy.
Yeah, because you were on Randy's team.
Yep. We played in a tournament together, his old roommate and I, so I got invited over, we started talking, and I was like, we were like D&D and this and that, and then we just, just ended up
We started
friends.
shooting pool together and everything
Yeah.
else, and ran a couple sessions, and now we're doing this.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's a small place, man. You'll run into anybody at least once or twice before you leave.
Yeah. But it was we met through his old roommate. It was a very we got that was what did we play that day?
That's a fun party too.
It was. But it was it was God 4 or 5 years ago now.
At least, and that's a problem. Like I didn't realize how long ago that was, but it actually might be more than that because that was when I was living over in Shadyside, which is so I mean that was at least four, probably closer to 6 years ago.
Yeah. God, 2015. No, 2016.
Yeah.
2016.
2016.
5 years ago.
2016. So 5 years ago.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
How,
Let's see here.
I don't even know how I still like you.
I mean, we see each other rarely in person. Helps.
Well, COVID.
Mickey says, Kies says, do you play billiards because having a pull stick helps you compensate for the missing leg? Sure. I started because my grandfather played when I was a kid, and I just have been playing my whole life. Let's see here. Pittsburgh. Are Josh and Anthony Steelers fans?
Duh.
I don't know if you could see that it was black and gold on the overlay.
It all makes sense now.
That's NFL, right?
Yes.
Steelers are NFL, Pirates are baseball, Penguins are hockey.
Funny side story on that. Somebody asked me if I was watching the Super Bowl. Like this dude was hitting on me and asked me essentially if I wanted to go watch the Super Bowl with him. And I told him that my favorite team wasn't playing and it was the BC Lions. And he walked away because he thought I was stupid enough to not know the difference between CFL and NFL.
You guys have Johnny Manziel now, so everything's going good for the Canadian Football League. I know that like sports talk is not necessarily the most like hit home on a D&D stream either.
I mean, I will say from my experience, Joe Manganiello, from this area. And he does a lot of one-shots at children's, used to pre-COVID, do a lot of one-shots at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. And he had the, what was that? What was it? With him in the Big Show, there was a lot of very large, very muscular men playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I think he was one of the big ambassadors to push it outside of the guys with, tape holding their glasses together, and it became a lot more mainstream for people of, sports people and whatnot to acknowledge that they actually like this game, which was awesome.
See, the reason that I like CFL is my brother was on a football team run by the city of Surrey, BC, actually, and G. Roy Simon's son happened to be on that team. And so they got tickets to games for free. They got to practice on their field for free. They got to practice with the BC Lions for free. They were very supportive of the, we weren't from the nice area of Surrey, let's put it that way, community. And it was really nice to see that.
Awesome. That's great. Yes, that was Jocks mocking Leonard and Tullen. Let's see here. Braylon, as a Canadian, I'm often the only one at the table from the Great White North. How much shit do you take for being a Canuck?
For being a Canucks fan, all of it. Absolutely all of the shit.
I think she means in our group.
No, I
here.
know what she means. I know what she means from Canada. I was making a joke about the Canuck part.
Yeah.
Everybody shits on Canucks fans. I don't take anything from anybody in this group. I think we had our concerns with me being from Canada. That's really the closest thing I could take. However, have taken my fair share of stupid questions from other people on the internet. Like, can I see a picture of your pet moose? Have you ever touched a polar bear? How do you have internet in your igloo? Just the stupidest questions.
It is funny that she brings that up though, because we are way too nice to you, because you're Canadian. We need to start making fun of you far more.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys act more like Canadians than I do, so I bully Tullen.
I mean,
oh, hey there. You got some nice for me, eh?
Oh, that was a Tullen accent. That wasn't even Canadian. The funny thing that I've heard from people is I say y'all and stuff a lot. I don't know why I say y'all. I've never been to Texas in my life, but I've had a lot of people ask me if I was from Texas just living in Canada because I don't say a and I say y'all instead, kind of thing. I've had that come up a couple times.
I was a Yinzer until I joined the army, and they made me change to y'all.
Yins, for people watching that don't know, Yins is the Pittsburgh version of y'all.
Yeah.
It's like
if you
what
hear
Yin's
someone
doing.
say Yins, that they're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The city of Pittsburgh. It
actually comes from Polish roots.
It does.
Fun fact. It's like a weird Polish rooted word that is the way that they conjugated it, and it's just stuck.
But there's very little things that you Americans could make fun of me for from being from Canada, because I don't do the Canadian accent. I don't do it intentionally, at least. And I am not the nicest person in the entire world. I bully people for fun sometimes. Not really bully people. I just crack jokes at other people's expense. Tullen. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean... Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, the hardest part was finding the legality of bringing a Canadian in.
That was how I found out that this was a streamed, was because he was like, I really want you to play, but you're from Canada. And my response was, I have a great internet connection. It doesn't matter.
In your igloo.
No idea that it was being streamed. I was like, I have a great internet connection.
She was like, why would we need video? Why would we need that? And I was like, because, we're streaming this campaign. She was like, oh, okay. And I was like, she doesn't know.
I had zero idea. And then I was just like, listen, man, I just want to play the freaking game.
Yeah, but I had to look into ways to make sure that everything was good. That was the hardest part of That was the only hard part of bringing a Canadian in. But,
Do it. Tell it.
Canada.
Start making fun of Canada. Start making fun of Canada. Come at me, bro. I bet you that your list of jokes that you can make about Canada is shorter than Tullen.
Ooh.
Now are you saying that the list of jokes is shorter than the list of jokes about Tullen, or the list is physically shorter than 3'2" Tullen? Got
physically
it.
Shorter.
Just making sure I understood the context.
That's tough. Tullen.
Physically shorter.
Much shorter. I don't know. There's a lot of jokes about Canada.
America's
sure
top
is.
hat.
Mm-hmm.
What was the best counter to that
It's
I've
like
ever
a
heard? I
loft
think
apartment of a really great party.
No, so the best counter that I've ever heard is like there's lots of jokes to be made about Canada, but America, it was like America is the joke trying to, America's the punchline or something like that. It was there was like a ton of counter to it, but at the same time, Canada's kind of like the younger sibling to America, where it's like, no, you can't come do this really cool thing with us, but now I need you to go fight this country with me.
Yeah, they still have mom in their pocket, like, Mom,
Yeah,
Man.
UK,
Exactly.
we still need your help.
exactly. That's exactly what it is.
We're independent now, but can I still call you Mom?
Yeah. I mean, where I'm from in Canada,
like
there
the
was
teen,
that
moved out
one
of the
moment.
basement.
Where I'm from in Canada, there was that one moment where a lot of people in Alberta were like, "Oh, are we going to become part of the States?" There was that one moment. And we will leave it at that, but there was.
Anyway, back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes,
Oh,
let's circle
D&D.
back to
That's what we're doing
D&D.
here.
Any more questions for our wonderful cast here tonight? Give it a second here.
But there's a real chance that my pool is currently overflowing. It'll be fine.
Oh.
Any questions
fine.
for me from you guys? Any more questions from me from you guys?
How do we be the best players we can be for you, Josh?
RP a lot.
I have one, but I don't think you'll answer.
Go ahead.
And it also it helps the other people in the group because it kind of like lends. How am I being looked for or hunted?
Is it a scavenger hunt or a game of hide and seek?
You are
I don't think you should
they're
answer
not
it. I
making
think
a
it'd be
show
funnier.
of it.
Okay. It's not a
can't be
full on
looking funny if
manhunt,
they
but it's
found
like hey, well, maybe you should come back. Like
It's
we know
kinda
this is
like,
hard.
Hey, anybody seen Kosto lately?
I
I'd
feel
really
like-
like to talk to him.
I feel like when the DM says that to you, it means he's got 4 assassins right behind you, and you just haven't turned around yet.
You'll learn a little bit more backstory wise. I don't think it's quite there yet. It's going to be.
Are you sure? I don't know. I
We're
don't know.
pretty sure up to this
I
point.
don't know.
We did, Music Maven. The only character with tattoo is you can see Braylon has tattoos, but the only character with tattoos is Cypher.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I messed up on Aleandra's tattoos. But when it comes to like player tattoos, did Jake have any tattoos, or am I still? No, they didn't. So far, I'm the only player that does. Josh has some,
You'll see more next
and then
week.
I don't. Yeah, you'll see more next week. I'm pretty sure both of them do next week.
Yes, they do.
Mhm.
But since that's the end of our question, unless somebody has anything else they want to throw in the chat real quick. Yeah. We're gonna call it a night. I want to thank Anthony, Braylon, and Kevin for taking some time to talk with you guys. Don't forget, check our stream on Sunday, starting at 6 Eastern time. We started on time this past week, which was great.
Nobody had a telephone pole outside Josh's house. It was good.
I know people could actually drive this week. So we will stop in on Sunday, check us out. You will see, and then next week we will have on our character intro on Thursday night. We will have Tim playing Jaeger and Mickey playing Kies. So that will be a fun night.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yes,
That's gonna be a very fun night.
Those two characters had some really fun interactions. That's gonna be fun.
So we hope.
Not that we're not fun and Jake's weren't fun, but those two are going to be very fun.
Yes, a polar opposite. We scheduled it that way for a reason. But we want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us and taking the time out of your day to spend with us. If you haven't already, don't forget to press the follow button to get updated when we go live. And we'll see you guys on Sunday.
See you on Sunday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.